Hey, welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is April 23rd, 2024. It's a bit of a mess today, I'll be honest. We're meant to start the stream about half an hour ago, maybe even 40 minutes. I've just been running into a whole bunch of problems, but I think we're in an okay spot. How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me. We're back. It's been a while. It's been a couple days. We didn't have a Thursday stream. We put up a video, but we were out this weekend at Mansion Runner, which was a great big event in Cape Cod in Massachusetts. It's good to be back. I just got back in last night. Super tired, did not sleep a lot on this Sunday night. We were up really late and then we had to wake up early to close the house down and drive. So I'm okay. I have a coffee. I gotta like AeroPress it. It's just off camera. It's gonna be good. How's everyone doing? Thanks for tuning in. Sorry that it didn't start on the right time, but we got there. Hey, Spiff, how's it going? Matthew Creech, welcome back. How's Mansion Runner? Mansion Runner was amazing. It was really, really great. Just like phenomenal. I'll talk a bit about more during the news section so we can be a bit more focused, I think. I wish today was a bit more planned because there's like a lot of news and a lot of stuff to talk about in general. There's a lot of events this last weekend. There's events this weekend, mind you, which is super important. Shout out to, I'm going to say at the top, if you're looking second flight at EMEA, we are hosting the stream this weekend. It starts on Saturday. It's a time zone that makes a lot of sense for East Coast players here in what's it called? In North America. It is the like North American time zone. There's 3 of these. This is the middle one. If you want to get involved, mind you, there's a module. If you click here on the subscriptions page. And in short, this is a paid tournament, if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to join 1 flight to EMEA, 2 flight to EMEA, or 3 flight to EMEA, there's different costs for each. And what does this cost cover? It covers you getting your prize support. Because each of these events actually has exclusive prize support. I didn't realize that. So all this stuff is like prize support that the Italian community has put together. So this Dr. Nuka by Nick Prada is exclusively for the second flight to EMEA. So the prize support for the third flight to EMEA will be able to reveal on this weekend during the stream. So if you're looking for Dr. Nuka, some Atini, and I do think this frog is consistent across all of them, you can sign up. And it is cheaper if you want to sign up for multiple. The third flight to EMEA is on the 1st of June. I'm not sure what time zone it makes sense for. It's not the best for me. Now, where does this money go? It goes to help get people to the EMEA Nationals, what is it called? European Continentals, excuse me, which is in Bergamo, Italy, in the middle or towards the end of June, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the sort of thing like run together. It's an initiative a bunch of the mostly Italian players, from my understanding, put together. So if you also need help getting to EMEA and would require or would appreciate even any sort of financial support, that's why all this exists. So shout out to all the nice people who have been organizing this. I'm just streaming it. I'm not an organizer. I've done no hard work so far, but we'll see you on Saturday when it starts. I believe it's like, what is this? Tournament starts. What is this in my time zone? I think it's reasonable. We'll never know. There's no way of knowing when that is, but it makes sense. What was Mansion Runner, though? I think that's where I started. Let me catch up on chat. We'll get back there. Yo, Gaming Time's returned. Tron, how you doing? Can't watch today. I look forward to the VOD. Yo, Eric, so great to meet Eric Hayden in person and Nick Mason. The Neon Static crew came up. We played a bunch of board games together. We recorded a podcast. I think the podcast we just recorded is up. I don't think it's up on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure it's up on like Spotify or where you can listen to podcasts online. I don't think it's here. I didn't see it on YouTube. It was like recorded. Oh, it is up here. We recorded it in person with also Jeff Izzy, in like one of the big rooms at Mansion Runner. I'm worried that I was really hungry that day, and I'm worried I ramble a bit, but we'll listen to it at some point. But check that out for sure. It'll be in the show notes. It was really, really nice to meet everyone, let alone record a thing in person. Bubble J, how's it going? Good day, Carrie Potter as well. Mansion Runner 30-player EMT was a good weekend. Not only that, it was an NPC Toronto that had about 30 players. And they had a 2-day event. So it was, I believe, a GNK in Startup, I think, on the Sunday. And then the main event on Saturday, which was sick. So there was a lot of stuff this weekend. A heck of a lot of stuff. Yeah, Bumble J and NPC Toronto, there you go. Dan McCarthy, hello, hello. How you doing? Bonjour, c'est le pod. Comment ça va? Weather issue? No, we didn't have any weather issues. Driving in was really rainy, but no weather issues, just tech issues. Morning there, Andre. Elwin, how's it going? Hey, Joe, any pictures to share for Mansion Runner? Definitely there are. I don't take a lot of photos, but I think we're going to be able to show them in the near future because I just need to like double check with people to say like, hey, are you okay with me sharing your photos online? Half because the people in them, but the other half because they took the photos and they're theirs. But there is like a Google Drive that is like shared within Mansion Runner people that has a bunch of really nice photos. So I'm just going to go in there and probably curate them and show them. I just can't do it right now because I didn't have time to like, make sure everything was cool, but I'm hoping so. Hey, Veronica, life's been treating me well. How about you? Mind you, Arkham finally came out in Canada this last weekend. So those in Canada, you can now grab Hemlock Vale and Age of Apocalypse. So enjoy your FFG stuff. Asmodee had some big news today. I don't fully understand what it is. Bing Bonko, hello. Also, Bing Bonko, thanks so much for supporting the channel. I got the push notification you joined on the Patreon team. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hey, Solom, how's it going? Nice to meet you too, at Mansion Runner. There's gonna be a lot of people too now. I can attach like a name to a handle if I'm not mistaken, which is really, really sick. Sokka played a cool Budma list with Amelia for AMT. Unfortunately, every corp list is playing 3 copies of Working Prototype. Yeah, Spark, I saw that. So if you want to see Sokka, he does stream his like run at AMT. I haven't had time to watch all of it. I tuned in for a bit. You can find the VOD on Sokka234 on YouTube. And so he played, his list was like the Padma, 2 Amelia, single legwork, and then like Pretty Mary and Jailbreak, if I'm not mistaken. I know in his write-up he said he was like kind of frustrated with Working Prototype. He called it out like, you know, you can just kind of lose early and get locked out. And I do kind of agree with him. Working Prototype for the uninitiated is an asset that if it just pops off, it pops off. And then if your deck like is depending on getting assets on the table for economy, for utility, for for a win condition, like it's really difficult because you have to first be able to deal with this, because if you install your daily cast for the second time, heaven forbid, and then it gets bounced in 2 turns before it gives you even like 6 credits, like yeah, you're cooked. So it's the sort of thing, like if you can't deal with it, it is a bit of a prison card and you are locked out. I played a deck with 3 of them. It did work at the event, mind you. We did play Netrunner and Mansion Runner as much as we also played a lot of other stuff, a lot of board games. But I see the frustration. This list is the first Amelia Earhart list I've seen so far. I think in Padma it makes sense. I think I want to try Earhart, and I didn't see a time in the VOD where it popped off, but I only watched like 1 game so far. So I'm excited to see a timestamp where you actually see what this thing does. Because when this thing's on the table and it has like that, you know, it's an optional ability, right? So you can kind of just keep it cooking, which is pretty scary. So the corp can't really play around it that well, which, yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Joining Eric in the VOD squad. Cheers. Hey, Matthew. Hey, all good. I don't think the link works. Which link, Dan? Into the subscriptions on Always Be Running? That one seems to work. Maybe I'm missing something, but there is some like chat delay. Hey, David. Glad to hear you had a good time in Mansion Running. Yeah, how you doing? How's the morning? So much stuff this weekend. Xrun, how you doing? I did a draft and found out how much overlap there was. Oh, to get people in. Oh, that's a bummer. Kevin, also great to see you in person again. It's been a while. Hey, Stream Augustus, how you doing? So Velma's Diner soon, not to be pushy or anything? No, I hope so. I definitely hope so. I've been a bit more underwater than I've wanted to on like a bunch of different fronts. But Velma's Diner should be something we can get more into in the near future. It like coincided with the box not coming out and then the new set dropping. So like right now things are slowing down a bit. There's still a lot of like video and stream stuff to be made for sure. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, Tron. Extremely exhausted, vacation at the end of this week. Have to hold on. Playing a bunch of Netrunner recently, so that's great. Hell yeah. Phil, thumbs up. The only game of Sokka's we caught on stream, we only got his Unity trashed by Nuvum. Oh, that was against Arizona, right? I think that was early. I think I did see that one. Where it got like retribution off of that like tracing upgrade. This is also like really strange. There was Nuvum decks that did well at the AMT, and like I was really excited about that. Because I want to see what Nuvum could do, because I don't like Nuvum. I don't think I like a lot of the identities in the set. So Alpi posted this Bombs and Guns, 3rd place at the MT. And one of the coolest things is there's replays here. So you can see what the deck does, and you can see how Alpi plays it. I think it's a really good thing to people to embed in their deck list. Like, here's a replay. That's kind of what we do on the channel too, right? Like, this is, you can watch the thing in action. In these 2 replays, Nuvum fires once each. Right? Like, is that addressed? I watched through them, but like, I watched the replay. Nuvum fires once in this game, and it fires once in this game. Now, Alpi wins those games, but like, it's not because of Nuvum, right? Like, literally any other identity. Obviously, in some other games it does, but like, the deck has only 9 operations, and they're operations that only fire when you win the game. So like, in one of them, it fired Public Trail into End of Line, which is cool because then you can afford it. Because if you don't have 7 credits, you can do this when you have 5 credits. That's cool. But I literally don't understand it. Like, this could be anything else. Why Nuvum? Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I was like really excited to be stoked about Nuvum, and I don't think this is it. But check out the replays. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. The Working Prototype NRDB review is great. Rahid, how you doing? Working Prototype is quintessentially an asset spam card, 100%. It pops off hard when the deck is running smoothly, but when the assets are pressured, it's just dead weight. I think you still like, it still matters a bit, Joe, because you find out in board states where like if the corp, you know, if you pressure the ASA assets and then they res ice, like the prototypes accelerate. But you're 100% correct. It's like working prototype for a lot of players looks like a card that should exist in a D-res archetype, right? Same like Cyber Sand Harvester. But then the only way to get this to consistently fire is when you have control over the things that you can res, and assets and upgrades you can res in 90% of paid ability windows on your own. So you see turns where the corporation just reses all their upgrades and just says, boop, I returned your daily cast or your twinning or your Banhar. Banhar is really important back to hand. That's huge for the ASA matchup. And in that part, it's like it buys you 2 turns basically. And then the working prototype is still on the table. Like if that bottom clause trashed itself, I feel like it wouldn't be as prison feeling, but it just simply does not trash itself. So you still have to deal with the thing as much as 5 charges. I don't know if you're going to get another 10. Hey, there's Dan B. Bushi. Hey, Andre, glad to see you this weekend. Me too. Thanks so much for all the work you did to put everything together. I think we cleaned out the house pretty good at the end, but mind you, Dan B has been organizing Mansion Runner. I think this was the 3rd year. This is the 1st year I've been to, but it's a heck of a lot of work, and I think a lot of people appreciate it. So thanks so much, Dan. You also made me a couple drinks, which is quite nice, including the Netrunner. I thank you that. Replays and decklists so good. It is really, really good. Replays and decklists are huge. I think the only way to make Amelia work is Flux. Flux has to be better than the amount of play it's seeing, surely. I agree with you, Spark. And like the Flux deck that it's like, it's really difficult to build, is I want to build an Arissana deck with Flux. And then I just don't want to ever run R&D. Because that's the thing, is like, what do you do when Amelia Earhart pops off? And my favorite idea, abstractly, is that you charge in an RB with Flux, and then once they have no money, you go like Conduit, Pichachon, Cubon, and you do that sort of like lock. Because like the corporation having no money is obviously very good on most board states, but when you're playing Pudma, if you're trying to win off of R&D, they'll probably have some amount of ice on R&D already rezzed because you've been running it. So like them having 10 credits is good, but it's not a win condition. It's kind of, a really, really, really big road bump. Oh, and I'd argue you could probably win off that road bump, but then you need HQ pressure, right? And I guess the deck does have a single legwork and some what's it called? The neutral one, jailbreaks, which is pretty cool. Cyclist has some issues with the breakers, no recursion, and propellers can't go through 10 strength pharaohs, and there's no way to get around 1 piece of ice. Yeah, I could hear that. And I think Ari might be a nice way to deal with that, because you can play, I don't know if you have the influence to play Phaserum, but you can play Slap, you can play Hush, stuff like that. But yeah, that's the thing. If you want to play an Econ Denial deck, I feel like you're in that sort of situation where once they res ice, things are bad. So I don't know if you can let them res ice. It's hard to say. When you say fire, do you mean peak of the game too? Thanos, yeah, I mean the better one, the gain 6 one. But what do you mean? Thanos, how's it going? It's pretty sick to see Public Trail. Public Trail is really good right now. I really wish ABR Cobra let you add replays in addition to photos, videos. ABR does allow you to attach, in addition to photos and videos. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Do you mean the peak? Peak? Do you mean? I mean the bottom one. When we're talking about working prototype, the problem with working prototype is the bottom one. You still fire the top one every once in a while. Like you do fire this, like it's better than clicking for credit. It shows your hand, but sometimes in the early game, you will just hit this. You won't just greet it for the 5. Yeah. I think you would explain why. Normally this takes 7 credits, but it can fire it off 5. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I believe there's a good Nuvum out there, even if we haven't found it yet. I think it's maybe a good Nuvum, but I think I don't know. Hey Dajan, how's it going? Problem is the corp installs 3 assets turn 1. Do you immediately drop to 0 credits to trash 2 of them? You don't get to play against assets by running literally every one of them. And if you miss the prototype, it's like 9 credits and a 2-click swing. A lot of the decks that are playing prototype are not like horizontally asset spamming. I do think Sokka was playing an NEH that was spamming prototypes, but a lot of times when I'm playing prototype, I'm playing in an ASA group. That's at least my experience. So it's like not just 3 out. It's like generally you build a server and a half a turn. So if you miss it on turn 1, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's like not worse than a Regolith because it probably won't charge itself up 5 installs that soon. Now, maybe in Near Earth Hub, which like Sokka was doing, I'm pretty sure, then you can get it to 6 a bit faster because your deck has a lot of resibles. That seems a bit more polarizing because I think right now in Netrunner, barring Rashida, there's very few cards that on the table turn 1 you have to run, which I think is kind of neat. But back in the day, there used to be board states, and this is the problem about getting hard-hitting news turn 1 or whatever, or Oppo to turn 1 and being annoyed about it, is that you don't actually have to run onto the table. Besides things like Rashida and arguably AR Enhanced Security, you can generally let corporations have their things on the table. Rashida, though, you definitely want to get down. My mentality if I was making myself a drink, no more work making it a double, and then usually making 4 drinks at once. Value down, yeah, exactly. Considering the Shapers are in a good place, well, wouldn't Doof be better than Amelia? I don't know if I think Shapers are in a good place, but I think Shapers are not converting really well. Diversion is really not great. So we saw diversion in Arissana decks as like a nice surprise. An open deck list is still tricky. I think in the last set, Shapers did get more HQ pressure, as much as Burner's not actually popping off right now. But this card is much more influence, and it is a bit slower. It also, the difference with this card is like, I don't know, lose 10 and lose 5 are two different things. You also have to spend money and make a successful run. I don't think a lot of people are saying Amelia Earhart is like, you know, literally doing anything in the meta right now. So I think if you think Doof is a better card than Amelia, yeah, I would probably say so. But yeah, I don't know. Not sure. Peak or 2 credits. Oh, for Nuvum, peak or 2 credits. Oh, when I say fire, I mean any fire. When I said Nuvum fired once per game, I meant any fire. Not just peak, not just 2 credits. Anything, either. It fired once per game, once on the winning turn in which it really mattered. And in the second game, I think it fired once. I'm not sure if it mattered. You're talking about Nuvum, yeah. Only firing twice. Was asking about peak and trash in game 2. No, the same. Same. Just once. Just once each. Yeah. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Change like, how's it going? Good morning. People playing Arissana with 2x Doof, so yeah, probably. Yeah, Arissana with 2 Doof, I don't think I've seen since RWR came out, because there's very interesting things you can be doing regardless. But since RWR came out, I don't know. It's like, maybe I just play Bravado in that slot. I'm not actually sure. Arissana decks also now are spending more influence on things like Fazarum. Like they have a bit more like heavy influence spends that they're considering. I think we're seeing like Gachapon decks. We're seeing Prognostic Q Loop is still pretty good. There's a lot of more interesting ways I think to spend influence. I think the version's really cool. But there's like now good ways to get HQ pressure. Nuvum's definitely very playable and can win tournaments, but it's hard to argue that Nuvum deck isn't better than Ob. Yeah, Augustus, that's how I see it. It's like the Nuvum text is okay, but it's kind of generalist. And so generally right now in Netrunner, you want to build a bit of a more focused game plan to challenge more runners. And if that's the case, often your game plan can be better served by a more specific, powerful ability. Right? Like, is this deck, the Nuvum deck, would it be strictly better if it was op? And honestly, yeah, maybe it would. Because it is doing asset-based crimes, right? Like, you do have urban renewal into something. Obviously, you need to build around it a bit more, but like, Mavirus into 2-coster, like that could be valuable. You can now play border control and have border control that, like, you know what I mean? Like those are probably going to be more valuable for this deck, considering in a couple of the games we saw fired once. In one of the games, it was just like the runner was playing, you know, Lou and can't deal with Hammer. Like Hammer turns out is really quite good. I think Hammer is really quite good, but like the Nuvum ability, I don't think is even changing how the runner's playing, where Op 100% does. I think that's my biggest bummer, is like this does not fundamentally change how the opponent plays. Like maybe they check archives, but not if it fires once, right? I don't know. Hey Ryan, I had a great time in Mansion Runner. How you doing? So ban Rashida? Hey Chris, I love Logjam and Nuvum fills archives fast. Nuvum doesn't even fill archives fast, because you still have to run it and flip, right? Like I think there's some latent frustrations there with all these cards that care about having cards faced up, like armed asset protection. We were pretty convinced that the corporation would fill archives face up and that would matter, but there's still like another step, right? Like the runner still has to run it and check it, which yeah, they probably do, because you're ripping cards off the top. At some point they'll check archives, but it's just like, I don't play my AD to make Logjam better. And if I did, I would still probably play Builder of Nations, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Zebag, how's it going? Congratulations on NPC Toronto. How did it go? It was a big weekend, I have no doubt. Was it what you expected? And what was your favorite part about it? Hurry McDurr, how's it going? What are we cooking today? We're going to be talking a bit about Mansion Runner. We're going to be playing Arissana, because I brought Arissana to Mansion Runner, and it's a pretty goofy deck list that we definitely need to fix. Do you think Amelia in a Padma deck is an interesting option? I think it's an option. I just don't know how you win the game. I've been playing a lot of BTL, and Logjam gets pretty big by itself. Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't know if you have to support this that heavily by playing your thing. Entangler is great. It makes my Mercury go vroom. Yeah, Entangler's pretty good, actually. I was referring to the kill. Runner thinks they're safe because the corp doesn't show they need credit, but the Nuvum refunds 2 credits and uh-oh. Yeah, but like you should probably play around that. Really, that's not a surprise. If your ID just says you have 2 credits left more on the final turn, would I play that ID? Probably not. Obviously that sounds good because you can kill the runner on boards if they can, but the runner in that game saw public trail. And so like, obviously you can't respect everything, but if they thought it was public trail at the end of the line, and mind you, that deck is 54 cards with only 2 copies of each of those win conditions. It has other win conditions. Like I think LP went other way to say like, oh, it can score in a remote server. And by a remote server, I mean, it can score behind just a hammer. Right. Like Your ID in Wayland does a lot more for you than just gives you 2 credits on 1 turn. Cohort and Nuvum can be value. Yeah, it can be cool, but they just trash it. They should trash it. I think that I saw a lot of the replays. People did not trash the Nuvum assets, and like Hearts and Minds actually did stuff, which like I don't know. Would you call the core meta right now a glacier meta or rush meta? I think it's faster. I think the decks that go to the really long game are not the easiest spot to be against some shaper decks. But I think overall things are pretty fast. But we haven't had like many major events where you can like really look at a lot of data points. AMTs are kind of strange to get a lot of data from because a lot of people treat AMTs in different ways. People have like different, expectations for what an AMT should be. Mansion Runner was a bit of a goofy fun event. Like it was the event to play the thing that you wanted to play. We could probably look at an NPC Toronto a bit. I can't really tell. I've had a lot of problem with Logjam and ends up having 3 strength with a disappointing frequency. Yeah, you gotta advance it once, but I agree. An NPC was killer. Favorite part was the people. It's always the people, yeah. Phil, what is that barcode? I heard about it a lot, but I'm not sure what it is. What is Mansion Runner? Let me jump in on that. I'm just gonna close the door and I'll be right back. Whoops. Do you see Baramu's rejig test run RE deck? Looks super fun. No, I didn't, because he streamed the last night, probably, or last afternoon, so I haven't had time to catch up. So Mansion Runner is an event that Dan B has been running for a couple of years now, in which it's just like a grassroots. It's not even an event. It's kind of, well, it's an event, but it is a thing in which a mansion is rented out and the cost is, divided against a lot of people who stay over there for some amount of nights. On one of the nights, there is a Netrunner team tournament and then people will come in for that. But it's basically an excuse to get people together to hang out and play board games and play Netrunner. So I showed up on Thursday when we got this house. It was in Massachusetts, and we were there till Monday morning. Basically spent the whole time playing Netrunner, a bit of Netrunner, played original Netrunner, ONR, and I have really good things to say about ONR. Shout out to Teo, who like put together an ONR draft, and we actually like open sealed product that's 30 years old, and had a phenomenal time. Like ONR is way cooler than I thought it would be, as much as I've already played some ONR. But I think that was like one of the big takeaways is like everyone's saying to be like, wait, ONR is kind of cool. So yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that. I want to play more ONR. But yeah, so we played a lot of board games. There's a bunch of people there. People came in mostly on Saturday, and on Saturday at night, there was a bit of a dress code if you wanted to. It was fancy runner, so I put on a suit. A lot of people dressed up nice in their gowns or their shirts and ties and whatever. And then we played a team tournament. There was about 25, 26 players, teams of 2. You were allowed to table talk, and you had to play different factions. So I played with Neon Static's Eric Hayden. We were a team of 2. We did all right. We ended up going Splitsville. We'll talk about the actual games. I had some pretty bad beats. But we had great opponents, and we had a really lovely time playing through that. We ended up in like a bit top 8 somewhere, so we did okay. We honestly didn't do too bad at all. Shout out to, I believe, Erica and Holly, who absolutely crushed it. Came in first. I think I don't know how many games they lost, probably not many. But yeah, mostly spent a lot of time playing a lot of different board games. Shout out to a lot of people who introduced me to new board games. We played Daybreak. I have a whole list of things we did. We played, Teo also brought a game that he was working on for a couple of years, so we played prototypes, played a whole bunch of Netrunner. Just kind of fun. I was described as like going to a board game convention, but like everyone and you like everyone, which is a really nice way of putting it. But it's just like you wake up, communal meal to some extent, and then you just kind of fill your day with whatever you want to do, which is playing board games. A lot of people brought a lot of board games, like way more than we ever played, so you were kind of spoiled for options. And the really fun thing too, which happens at board game conventions, is like a lot of times when I play board games with friends, I'm the one who teaches the board game, right? Because I'm the one who's generally the most invested when I go over to like my sisters or to friends or something like that. But here, everyone who generally is there is the person who teaches the board game. So a lot of people who like are generally, the ones teaching and doing stuff like that get to sit down and play. But you're surrounded by people who are like kind of really not like sweaty hardcore because people just want to learn new games, but it's like a really cool environment where everyone's like really invested. We did a whole heat tournament. Shout out to Izzy. She took in first. I came in second, almost at it. It was like about 1 space away. And then we had really nice trophies. Dan B actually gave us like little cars to use on our car spots. And as a nice surprise at the end, we were able to keep the little cars. And mind you, also, Code Marvelous provided like a trophy, which is, I'm not sure what kind of miniature car it is, but it was an old miniature card toy from probably a couple years ago. But yeah, it was sick. It's like, it's a thing that Danby's been going for a while. It's sometimes a bit awkward to talk about it because like abstractly it's open to everyone, but it's a bit exclusive because generally it's people from the Northeast, and then like those slots go fast and there's a couple extra slots. This is the first time I've been to it. I know I was very interested after hearing last year, seeing photos that look really charming, and a lot of people I really like go there. So it was nice to meet a lot of new people, make a lot of friends. It's like always just the coolest thing going to Netrunner events on the basis that there's like, oh, who are you? Oh, I know of your name before. I've seen you play. I've played your deck list, and then you can put a name to a face, and it's like just the coolest thing because it accelerates friendships. Where you're like, oh, I know who you are. I've played your stuff. I've seen you online, and it's like just kind of really good to be there. It's pretty exclusive. Yeah, it's like not something you can just sign up to, I don't think, but I'm not exactly sure how it works because it's overall I think there's about 30 people that kind of came and went, which is nice. But it's like the Northeast Boston area, New York, New Jersey, and then people came in from a bit further away, like just really fantastic people. Super nice metas down there. Does Nuvum show me that Nuvum could do cool combos because it's credited up fairly fast compared to other Wayland ID? I don't know, man. You get like 3 credits for free in an outfit. Not the most sold. Phil, how'd you get my IP address? Don't worry about it. Yeah, Cold Lava, morning. Nice meeting you this weekend. Like, I got to meet Cold Lava for the first time. Mind you, Cold Lava and Sophie just had the most ridiculous, like, till 2 a.m. original Netrunner game. And I was sobbing. It was so damn funny. Original Netrunner is just so goofy. And the game went on forever. And Cold Lava had this card that says, when you die, how about you don't? And so the game continued to go on, and it was just absolute salad. And then Dice to Snare. But it's just like, just such a good time because it's ONR is so goofy. There's an ONR JNet project out there. Yeah. NB Kelly, I believe, put it together. Yeah, NB Kelly put together a whole entire like ONR platform, and just like JNet, which is rules complete from my understanding. I haven't pulled it up yet because by the time that he put it up, I think it was just about holidays and I didn't have the time to cover it, if I'm not mistaken. But he looks like he put a lot of work into it and it looks great. The one thing about ONR is like the rules are 90% there. But the big rule that I don't like specifically is that you can play as many copies of the same card as you want in your deck. So as opposed to Netrunner where you have a limited 3 of, there's a lot of competitive ONR decks that are just like 6 unique cards, but then massive amounts of quantities of those, which means decks are a bit more like, I don't know, it feels like one of those weird modes that they add to Hearthstone where they shake it up every once in a week and it's like, pick 3 cards, that's your whole deck. And like the game becomes some weird puzzle combo. I think if you play ONR either draft or sealed, or you like, you know, force the 3 of per deck building rule, then it's probably a pretty cool game. And we had a fantastic time, even though we did technically have some 4 ofs in our deck, but it doesn't really matter. Working prototype board game. Yeah. Okay. How's it? I'm doing well. How you doing? Sad I didn't get a chance to try Heat. It seems super cool. Matchbox. Yeah, it was a Matchbox card. I think you're right, Solom. Yeah. I was playing World Tree Arissana in person. I've had fun problems, but I wouldn't want to take it to competitive events. Sauce. I had some problems. Let me show you this. Okay. So this is what a Netrunner deck looks like. This is a 45 card runner deck, right? Like this is a normal Netrunner deck. I brought this in. It's 73 cards. This one's actually 70 cards on ID. And this deck you have to shuffle a lot. A lot. I was worried because it was double-sided Swiss that I would go to time. This was an issue. And it actually caused some problems. I'm on 72. Yeah, I know. Like, I can't cut it down. I was on 73. And then Jeff and I had a conversation. We cut it down to 70. So we're going somewhere. But this is actually really difficult to shovel. Physically difficult to shovel. And it indirectly led to a game loss where round 1 I was playing against Dan B. I was playing against Bushi. And Bushi had this like Atea deck that had some weird like kill threat in it. So it was just kind of hard to find agendas and the game was a bit slow. His economy wasn't very good because I was pressuring him a fair bit. But by the time I was set up, it was like, we have 20 minutes left in the round, 10 minutes left in the round. And I was like really on tilt to try and get the game. I'm like shuffling quickly. I'm like, you know, I have so many triggers on top of triggers. I have like DJ Fenris and like Cyberdelia and Trickster Taka. Like it's nonsense. It's like a lot of stuff going on. And then finally I closed that game off. And then we have about 12 minutes to go to our corp game. This is round 1, mind you. So like first time playing this, you know, in a tournament where it really matters. So we go to round 2 and Danby pulls out Dao. I'm assuming Hermes Dao, which is like a doable matchup. I'm playing like Holm and Asa, like I said I would on the channel. And so he starts putting some pressure on. I get some ice resed, which is pretty good for me. I build up a working prototype in a remote server. And then I think like, okay, I just need to get 2 ice on R&D so that he doesn't bounce and then just win the game with conduit or like a trick shot or something. And unfortunately, I'm playing so fast because we have 10 minutes left in the round and I'm behind 2 points. Well, specifically, I'm behind 2 points because he runs HQ. I think he broke an ablative barrier and stole a 1 and 5 on Off-World Office, and then Hermes fired. I'm like, ah, crap, he's going to bounce my agenda in the remote server. And he doesn't. He bounces ice. I'm like, okay, interesting. And then I look down to advance my agenda and realize why he didn't bounce it is because I installed an agenda on top of a working prototype. So he thought it was an upgrade. And so I just like, ah, shit. And I flipped it over and just realized I put an asset and an agenda in the same server and just shook hands. I was like, sorry, man, it's a game loss. I'm just going to walk away from that one, which is bad. And that was mostly not because of this, but because this game took about 50 minutes in 65-minute round, which is a mixture of me not playing to the outs because I was playing a bit defensively because I just didn't want to die to the Atea deck. That being said, I played Kevin later, and Kevin killed me so good. Just absolutely crushed me. But this deck actually performed better than the Asa group deck, which was a kind of surprise. Like, Asa won, I think, 1 game. One of them was a game loss, and then this one, you know, all but one. So, cool. Turns out it's good, but I had problems. Shuffling is not easy. You can just say no CDs. Run your own mansion runner, Dan. Probably run your own mansion runner. I probably prioritize people that have been before, but they usually 1 to 2 open spots. Yeah, exactly. Like it's a thing that takes a lot of work. That's more about like supporting the local meta and supporting people who've been coming out. So like, I don't think Dan needs to make it as accessible as possible. I'm really happy I was able to go and it was sick. Would do it again. But yeah, who says we aren't? I think a lot of people are going to see stuff like that and do something like it, and I cannot recommend enough. Cabana Sucre Runner. I was thinking about it, Solom. I was thinking about doing something like that. Like, this is the Sugar Shack kind of point in time, point in the year where we can do it. Metro Stream, yo, what's cracking? How's the Thursday event? The weekend event was really good. O&R was wacky. Yeah, O&R was just like such a surprising hit. I think those rules were written before Garfield really figured out the TCG model. Being able to play any number of a given card sounds like early MTG shenanigans. Yeah, there's a lot of really weird stuff in there. The balance is also like so strange. Like there's a pad campaign that reses for 4 and trashes for 7 and has 12 credits on it. And we all were like evaluating it, be like, this is terrible, right? And then you end up resing it because the game is just so slow. And at that speed, you just like any economy is good economy. O&R is just so goofy. It's really, really funny. I'm on 72. Hey, Kato, how's it going? As someone who's playing 79 OB at a tournament, I'm very glad I have long fingers. Yeah, right? Oh, man. As an MTG Commander player, I feel your struggle. But in MTG Commander, you're not shuffling like every damn turn. It does look like a Commander deck, though, yeah. I played MTG Commander, so I've gotten used to shuffling 90 card decks. But you don't do it every turn, right? I don't think you do. Bob is slightly more shuffling than Commander, yeah. Hey, Bailey, try playing a bit of Commander 99 cards deck are tall. Hey, Sidney, how's it going? Hey, Andre, hey, chat. Do you think there's a more practice thing, or do you feel like it's just not workable with the shuffle time? Oh, definitely more practice. I think the problem I have with Arissana, and so like I played a bit of this off stream and I recorded some stuff. So mind you, RWR was really big for World Tree Arissana, and we're definitely going to be playing more of it today. So Seb K did pretty great at AMT recently, playing a deck he called Wormwood, which was like not 73 cards. I think it was like 70 cards, because Muse and Coalescence are really, really good. And they help a lot with the deck. So this one is, why is it not, does it say 68 cards, excuse me. And when I played this version online, the games are long because when I build my board state, I generally build, like, this is the thing that you have to kind of understand when you're building or playing World Tree Arissana, is that whenever you fire your World Tree, what are you getting? That's obviously a huge question. And the more I played, I realized I played more to react to the current board state, as opposed to set up for the mid to late game, which you're going to dominate, or set up to close the game. And the problem is I often found myself in the first. So I always just tried to stay one step ahead of the opponent. Be like, oh, I'm going to go for this breaker because they've produced nice. Oh, I'm going to go for this to support that. Oh, I'm going to go for a bit of card draw because card draw is good. And I always try to stay one step ahead of the corporation. I think I need to play more to just like do whatever's generalist best for the board state to set up a control lock, because eventually you are, you know, double turbine deck, and that's going to be a problem for most ice-based decks. The economy in the deck isn't infinite, but it's pretty good. And then eventually you pivot to what's unfortunately in this deck only like really one win condition, which is Conduit. And I found out most of my games are going to nearly time in this deck because I did not have enough win condition per card as much as you can produce it consistently. There was just a lot of board states where I felt like pivoting to Conduit wasn't the play. So the version I played focused a bit more on a bit of disruption, because that deck has no disruption, and has more win condition. So this is the version I've been playing. And while it still has a conduit, it's now playing 3 copies of Cataloger. I was really upset to realize, and I should have seen this sooner, that if you pull out a Cataloger with World Tree, you can't actually fire it anymore because it wasn't there for the successful run. Actually, can you? Rules team? I don't know actually if you can do this or not do this. I think I might have been messing up where, like, if you run HQ and pull DJ Fenderson for World Tree, DJ Fenderson wasn't there for the successful run trigger, so you can't fire Steve Cambridge. That makes sense to me. But some of these events that are, or some of these cards that say, like, they fire one successful run instead of breaching, these replacement effects sort of work, but kind of not really. But in the place where these decks were running things like our air blades just as a cheap hardware, I wanted to run Cataloger because it's an additional win condition and you can bring it in and pull it out. And I like this a lot more. It made the deck feel like it had a stronger win condition, though I think in the first game against Dan B, I fired 2 Catalogers and saw no agendas. You can use the click ability. Oh, you can definitely use this, which, like, you don't care about unless this part fires. But yeah, you can definitely use that. So this is the version I played and has slightly more win condition in it. So we have 1 conduit, we have a Cataloger. I also have some tech that I cribbed from some Snare Bears because I don't think we saw on stream, but Cable Carnage played a version of this, brought it to Fight Club, and instead of Buzz, I was playing Inversificator, which I thought was really cool because it gives you the ability to move around the code gates and build board states that are just not good for your opponent, and that slows them down, which is important. Also, Trickster Taka seemed kind of good, as much as Trickster Taka sometimes was a burden when I pulled it out too soon. Definitely shouldn't do that because eventually, sometimes you just don't have your breakers down. But that's a really nice infinite influence card that you can put down, or infinite, economy card that you can put down from your deck consistently. And that's good because you do want to be running once a turn. Why not make that cheaper? I think you can probably still want to play Trick Shot. Shout out to, I think, Cold Lava, who one of the games, every round was played on the pool table and managed to land some cool trick shots on the pool table, which that's pretty damn cool. But this is the version I played, barring I cut 3 Stone Chip Chart Room just to get down to 70 cards, which means the name Prime Tree doesn't actually make sense. Come to Durban Wasteland, my house, August 17th, all are welcome. Yeah, that's a very, very close feeling event, which I like. I'm excited. August 17th, mind you. The 4/4 agenda, yo, I had 2 4/4 agendas in my deck, and I fast advanced, I think, 2 of them, which was sick. Some of us in Vancouver were talking about doing a camp runner, yeah. I don't know how Magic players shuffle their 100-card commander decks. It's not like small pyres. They know ONR Caddy Jones is legit. Broker is, like, fine. I got in my ONR pool, I got 3 copies of Armitage, and I got a Magnum Opus, and ability to search my deck for Magnum Opus, and that was really good. But anytime I saw Broker, it did control the game. It didn't feel great. The ice where you have 16 credits after res, you gain 16 credits? I didn't see that one. There are commander decks that shovel a lot. Oh, lots of teeters. That's not great. Very happy the Kroganil board I brought saw a lot of play. Yeah, Kroganil slaps. Kroganil's really, really great. I don't get these decks. Just play 45 cards, Ari, and cut half the chaff. Net Dead, I think you might be onto something. I think I've seen a couple other Arissana decks that are on World Tree 45 cards. The problem is, like, if I'm playing 45 Arissana, I would not play World Tree. I'd probably just play a good Arissana deck. And I think the good Arissana decks right now are pretty good, and they're fun, and they're reactive, and they do everything you want. But I just want to play World Tree. And as soon as you play World Tree, you can convince yourself you can do this. And I'd argue that this bloat actually doesn't feel like it decreases the overall quality of the deck as long as you can get World Tree consistently in the early game. It honestly doesn't feel that bad. I don't know. Echelon but no Trick Shot, SMH. I don't know why you need Echelon and Trick Shot, but I do think the deck could play 3 Trick Shots for sure. You can't use Catalog if you grab it with the tree on the R&D run. Yeah, that makes sense. So you can use the click ability afterward. Yeah, you're correct that you can't use the successful run trigger on something installed via the successful run. Yeah. There's so much chaff. I'm pretty much playing the same deck with 45 cards. Interesting. Cable did play the World Tree Ari and Oxu stream round 1 versus Jad, I believe. Did I miss it? I might have missed it then. Okay, I got to check that out. I was trying to see if I could find the VOD of it. I couldn't find the VOD of it. I'm playing the Cable Carnage 69 cards plus 3 burner because I love burner. Yeah, I think also, like, Seb was talking about, like, I want to get, you know, we added 3 Dirty Laundry, which seems good, 3 Burner, 3 Trick Shot. Like, there's a lot of events that you want to consider adding to this deck, and we added most of them to this deck. But the more events you play, like, at some point, is 76 too many? Maybe. So when you bring a casino auto shuffler to constantly shuffle the deck, yeah, it eats your sleeves too. Let me a huge toolbox with some silver bullets. So let's dive into this because I'm going to play this deck now, I think. And so I'll talk about the things that worked and things that didn't work. All the events are really good. You're happy to draw most of the events all the time. I think Trick Shot is very, very good in the deck, and I would consider playing it. I don't know if it might actually be better than Dirty Laundry, which is strange, but Trick Shot is just fundamentally so good for just about everything you're doing. Trick Shot is also just good. Like, it is just good. On most board states, when the Shaper trick shots me, you puts you in a really ugly spot where they're going to contest your remote server. The double axis is sick. 4 to 6 credits is really good for even trashing things off of R&D if they need to. Just very, very functionally quite good. The only way that trick shot's not good is when running ice is difficult and the punishment of the face check is really bad, which I'd argue is like 1.5 like board states or factions. Like into NBN, into Reality Plus, it's sometimes hard to trick shot. Into HB can be tricky if it's a drafter. It's a bit ugly. You don't really break drafter in the early game for very well, as much as maybe you can in this deck by Fizzariming it. So it's hard, but like it's very, very good on a lot of board states. So I see the appeal for sure. Cataloger, that's my 3x. Hardware tutors are pretty weak, and you do need to get your lily pad sooner than later, not only for MU, but because there's a lot of economy now in the deck by like recycling things like Coalescence and recycling things like Muse. So you can use this as your draw engine. I think Cable was playing 2 copies of Lily Pad, which I kind of get. I convinced myself I could play 1 and just try and get it early with one of the other hardware, but there's no like really good tempo positive hardware in the format. And so the cheapest hardware you can play is Airblades, which is like whatever. I don't think the text on it really matters that much. You can play Flip Switch, and I think Flip Switch makes sense in the meta. It's maybe nice to have one in your deck that you can get it, but you can also just sell it to get something forward. I think Seb was talking about playing Flip Switch as well, but nothing really jumps out to me besides Cataloger, which I appreciate because it's another win condition, it's R&D pressure, and all that sort of works really well when our struggle is to close the game out. Cyberdelia. Don't love it. You have to play enough MU cards. The most MU you can have is too much. You're not going to use all of it. And then we have DZs for setup. And it's hard to tell what you want. DZ comes down cheaper and saves you money sooner, but Cyberdelia is pretty good into the mid to late game. This is a lot of credits. It is a Rizeki if you're running once per turn. And then with things like Bad Publicity or Trickster Taka, you're actually making money pushing yourself forward. It's a sort of card that you will easily trade a DZ for Cyberdelia if you can afford that MU jump for a second, because this is just a better econ card the later the game goes. And you do want to get these down because you do have to inherently run once per turn and most everything will be iced up. It's not exciting, but you kind of just need enough MU in the deck because Muse is really clumsy on MU and World Tree is 2 MU, and you're always going to have World Tree down on most board states. DZ is fine. With got a bit fair bit better with Coalescence to push yourself forward. It is just good. I didn't often fire Lilypad on the corporation's turn, which you should with your Simul chips, just to be able to fire this more, which is great. Airblade definitely feels like it's just the cheapest hardware that will sometimes be relevant. Yeah, you just trash it to World Tree. You don't need to keep it around. If you're playing against Shinteki and you think you're going to die, yeah, maybe you can keep it, but otherwise it's fine. You already have like Lilypad and you have like Stone Chips, so there's other cards in the deck that allow you that sort of safety, but it is what it is. Resources, Pawn Shop. This one's really divisive. I think there's a lot of pawn shop decks, RE decks you can play that are less than, 50 cards. But this card is really weird because World Tree inherently is a pawn shop. World Tree inherently is sell a card, gain 3 credits, install a card, which is technically better than pawn shop as much as that it's, gated by type and is not credits in your credit pool. Aesop's is neat because you will have extra things lying around like Coalescence and Muses, and I can't tell if I want this or I can just play without this. Because without it, you're just world treeing more stuff, but with it, you have some choices to get rid of some things while selling other things and world treeing third things. So I don't actually know if I need this. There's certain matchups where it's better than others. I think mostly like horizontal acid matchups, it's really quite good, but I can't tell if this is necessary because it feels like it's a bit redundant because we are still getting value of our empty Coalescences using World Tree going forward. You actually could probably cut this. Daily Cast is just fine. It's another card. You can get 6 credits, World Tree it off. It's totally good. DJ Fenders is pretty good too, especially when it comes down for 0. And you end up generally getting Steve. There's a chance that this is actually totally cuttable because it feels very extra and not necessary. And by the time that you're set up, you're pretty in a good spot. The question is, can you close the game out sooner than later? Maybe if you're playing more events and the more event heavy version and you're playing, the trick shots and all that sort of stuff, the burners, this seems a bit better. But this card seems a bit extra as much as installing it for 0 seems pretty good. I was excited to use this to go for Lou as in the acid matchups as much as I never got an acid matchup. Did that ever make any sense? Nuka, she's fine. She's good enough. Yeah, she does what she does, draw 3, then sell for something. Earthrise, I like to play 3 of these. What I'm learning too is that when I played World Tree on this channel a long time ago, it was more about the resource chains, not so much the program chains. So I need to change my mindset that I'm not trying to go for resource to resource in the early game. I'm trying to go for like program into Coalescence, into hardware, into program. So 2 Earthrise, 3 is okay. You really can't afford it in your opening hand, but Earthrise is very, very good and is often my first resource I'll get. Miss Bones, fantastic. I've emptied Miss Bones in almost every game. The fact that she comes out when you're on no credits and then you can still contest an entire remote server is phenomenal. And then you don't have to, like, you can just run the PD remote server. And if they get in, you just trade your resource for this and then you just trash the Tranquility and the Mana Garment, all that. Fantastic. I don't think Cable is playing this. I'm not sure if, oh yeah, Seb was, but I really like my Miss Bones a fair bit. This card I cut. Doesn't feel like it does enough. People love Stone Chip. A lot of people say you have to play Stone Chip in World Tree just because it is like the cheapest resource to install, and it's not terrible on most board states. But like, I'm not convinced. I don't know. It just doesn't feel fantastic. It's better than drawing a card when you install it. You can offload the draw. You obviously don't die to things, but you're already pretty good at not dying to things with Lily Pad. So I'm not sure about this. This is what I ended up cutting when I played the deck. Now, this is the card that a lot of people say I should cut, and I love Telework. Telework to me is like such a security blanket where it's just like, if this is my opening hand, I know I can play World Tree because Telework, hit Telework next turn, hit Telework, and then sell it to World Tree is like 100% what I do a lot of the time. So it's like such a weird smoothing card because even if I install it, take 3 and sell it, it feels okay. Like it's functionally 2 clicks for 2 credits and then like you sell it to the next thing with World Tree. So it feels so good, but I know Cable is not playing it. I know a lot of people just don't even like playing this in their normal shaper list as much as we have more utility than a regular shaper list. So this is what I've been told to cut, but I kind of like it and I can't convince myself to cut it, which is a bit of a problem. Taka, a lot of influence. Maybe we can play Class Act. I'd love to play Class Act in these decks, but just seems totally fine. She's exactly what you want from a card. And we play 1 Urban Art Vernissage, which is just good. You have a fair bit more Trojans than I know I played in the last version of my deck. The last time I was playing a World Tree, I actually wasn't playing 3 Cubon as much as I was playing 3 Slap Vandals, and I still played 2 Urbans. I don't think I got Urban down in any game I played, either because by the time it came down, we were like DZMZ'd up and it was not necessary, and or the game was over too fast on the other side. So definitely a very valuable card to play in Arissana, but I struggle to make this as relevant because like this is the best Trojan I have in the list on most board states, and you cannot reposition it because it's a virus. So hard for me to figure that out. I added a Valentina because when I played on JNet Casual, I mostly play into Reality Plus. Getting a Valentina down for free while making a run and then clearing a tag on an oppo turn seems really good. I never installed her during the entire event because I played against 2 Ateas and then 1 outfit. But that's fine. It's a 73 card deck or whatever, but this seems okay. But you could argue that you don't need this. Otherwise, there are no cards in the deck that interact with tags. I believe Cable Carnage was playing not No Free Lunch, but No One Home, which I get that too. That's like pretty cool. But yeah. I can't figure out what to do in that slot because we're not very good against tags, especially early. If we take a hard-hitting news or sorry, an oppo, like we're not very good at clearing it. So I just played that as like a comfort option, but it's not relevant. Hey, Lazy, popping in before work call. Hope everyone's doing great. Thanks so much for popping in. Hopefully you're having a good day too, huh? Feels like Aesop's only matters the last 3 turns in a longer game. Yeah, in the late game, this matters, which is maybe why it's a 1 of. But I could argue you could start cutting these things. Playing without, I would struggle to find things to trash it. I'm trashing most things to World Tree. Hold on. Yesterday, my roommate lost critical cards to snare repeatedly. He's thinking about airplanes now. Oh. Andre has the footage for me, but just finding the time at the point. Yeah, I need to find the time. Did Vancouver and NBC footage ever go up? I have it. I just can't. I'm not going to be able to edit all of it. Time has been really, you know, tight because I've been gone this last weekend. But I'm going to try and edit together the finals at a minimum and see what happens. I want to play TCG, but you put your deck into a Uno attack tosser, and when you try and draw, you just hit the button and pray for it actually gives you cards. I tried coming with something I do with the original Poncha, but I realized it was really hard to use with the Arissana. I didn't want to make it in a lat. Yep. Yeah, it's hard. It's tricky. It's tricky. World Tree is just too big brain for me. 3x spec work, 1x Aesops is good fun too. Yeah, and I think that like there's a lot of reasons to play non-World Tree Arissana, and they all want to do like spec work, single Aesops. I think those decks are much more consistent and arguably maybe more powerful, and maybe even more fun, which is hard to tell, right? Like it's wild. Okay, just the programs. Cleaver, it's fine. Echelon, it's fine. I'm not on Ika. And on Versificator, this is Cable Carnage's tech instead of Buzzsaw. And the disruption this allows you is actually really quite cool because you can make R&D soft by putting their code gates there, and you can move ice around. And moving ice around to make the runs makes sense for you is really powerful. I think in the one matchup where this mattered, I could have put a border control in R&D and took the Valenchow off on the remote server, which is a totally fine trade. Also, I was moving around Thimble Rigs, which sucks, but I think the only code gates that Dan B res into me were Thimble Rigs, which was kind of useless. But maybe he didn't res other code gates, because once there's a magnet up, giving us the ability, as much as you break magnet for 2, maybe 1 with Cyberdelia, this is kind of neat, especially because you install it for 3 credits from your deck. This card is really, really mean. And I do like a card like this that allows me to have a bit more control on the game in an aggressive way, because we're not playing like Maw or Viruses or stuff like that. I don't think we have too much else to say about everything else. Coalescence is a 3-of, is very, very key in the package. We have 3 Muse as well. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You can install this from your hand to get a Trojan, and it will send itself off either by Arissana text or by World Tree, which is sick. Single Conduit, single Hush. We're not on Clot. I think you could play Clot in the deck. You just have to move around some influence. We're on 1 Turbine, 1 Takobi. I have played more practice by playing 2 Turbines. I never installed a Takobi, but I did install Turbines. I can't tell what ice I care about one more than the other. I think Takobi Brown is the reason why you'd want Turbine less fast than Takobi, but hard to tell. 3 Cubon. It's good. It's definitely good. I know my versions that I played from last season were only on 1 of these, but having 3 of them means you just have more cheap targets to go get your Coalescence to trade this, because you install this with RE clicklessly, so that's important when programs are more important. Then we have Parisha, which is good. We have 2 Fizzarum. Fizzarum is just busted. Barriers are really hard to deal with. Boto, Data Ward. There was a bunch of barriers that were like a real annoyance. Brawn is pretty hard too, so you have to work on other ways to deal with it, because this doesn't work on barriers. We have a single Peach show, and then everything else is what you think it is. That's the list. I don't know what to do with it. Does anyone have any ideas what to cut? Like, I think we do just duplicate this and then cut a bunch of the cards that we thought were like not totally necessary to get it slightly smaller. Because it's yeah, it's definitely a bit much. At least on Netrunner DB, or sorry, on JNet, you don't have to shuffle that much, which is okay. So let's cut the cards. Let's cut some of the cards that people have convinced me so that we need to get rid of. So we'll get rid of Aesops. The deck is going to end up to be bigger. I don't think we need DJ Fenris. Love seeing the 73 deck and Andre having no idea what to cut. Yo, for real though. So we can get rid of that. I don't think I need Takobi and there's games I played where I've actually installed 2 turbines. Maybe we can do 1 Takobi, 1 turbine. That's fine. I'll cut the Valentina and just say that we don't have to worry about that. Stone Ship I'll cut. So we're down to 67. I think we need to play Trick Shot. Cut Diesel, Dirty Laundry, Overclock, Swap and Reject, cut Catalog. Wait, for real? Cut Diesel, Dirty Laundry, Overclock, Gamble, Swap and Rejig, cut Cataloger, 1xDZ, MZ. But you can never afford an early World Tree unless NetDead, your next thing is about cut World Tree. Do you need 3 Cataloger? Yeah, you do. Just because you need a cheap hardware to get down on the table so that you can find your lily pad quickly. Cut Earthrace, there you go. Cut UAV, cut Cubon, cut 2. There's no way that there wasn't going to end up cutting World Tree. NetDead, I agree with that. Well, you don't cut UAV in that list, I don't think. I'm getting you to 45 cards. Yeah, but you're also cutting World Tree. Oh, 2 World Tree. Okay, let's try this. What is this? Have you considered cutting the World Tree? No. Cut Diesel, Dirty Laundry, Overclock, Gamble, Swap, and Rejig. Cut Cataloger, the 1xDZ, MZ. Earthrace, UAV, Cubon, Takobi, cut 2 World Tree. So it's a single World Tree? And you're getting it with SMC, Rejig? There's going to be test runs on this? Yeah, I know Bob was playing some sort of test run Rejig. I didn't like test run Arissana, but there's more reasons to play it now because you have like Coalescence and other stuff. Cut down to 1 tree and just lean on your tutors. I think that's okay. There's like out of the 3 games, you know, like 6 mulligans or whatever, I think I started with a World Tree in my hand in like a couple of the games. So like cutting down to 1 World Tree, like the cost of cutting, I think there's actually a really big cost there. Because now the amount of games that you open with a World Tree are obviously 3 times as few. You can get with RE Trigger, Muse, SMP, World Tree on Coalescence cost 10, but you end on 4. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. But then when we don't have Overclock, like that line becomes a lot less forgiving. Because like that's one of the lines. You Muse for SMC, then you SMC for the World Tree, then you World Tree the Muse for a Coalescence. So you need 10 up front, but then you end up with just an empty Coalescence on, so you're on 4 credits. Like this deck got a bunch of better ways to get the World Tree out, which is cool. So maybe you can get away with running less World Trees, because now it's not just SMC and World Tree, which for the last versions it was. Now it's Muse, SMC, and World Tree. So maybe it makes sense. Turn 1 World Tree isn't super great. No, you don't need a turn 1. You're right about that. I like Overclock a lot. Okay, hold on. Let me try this. Cut Diesel. Fuck. Dirty Laundry, Overclock, Gamble. That to me is nonsense, but I see we're just building more on World Tree. Hold on. Baby steps. NetDead, I'm going to copy paste this down. so I can like refer to it, but I'm going to try with this first and then like make this smaller and then go from there. Cut overclock, play trick shot. I think that's fine. Okay, I copy pasted this so I can go back to it, but I'm going to go start here and then we'll go back and try the more like radical version. Because I just want to make this version smaller and see how it goes, and then we can see what else we can do. So we're down to 65. We have 1 influence. I want to play trick shots. So we're at 68. We have a single world tree. What else is like kind of like telework? Probably you can cut it. I don't like to cut it. Overclock's better than trick shot. I kind of like both though. So we have to reset. Okay. Yeah, I think telework is fine. So say that we kept the sand. We would diesel into this. Okay, so the question is like how many draws before we can get a world tree down. Now we don't need a world tree down on turn 1, of course, but if we keep drawing. Okay, so it takes to 17 cards to find our world tree. That's not great. This version, if we kept this is good. This is why I like telework. We can do early telework, hit telework, coalesce for 2. We probably don't want to because we're going to have MU issues. We'll have to destroy it. But next turn we can do SMC Muse, or we can just do SMC World Tree, sell the coalescence. So that's actually fine. We do telework, then we install coalescence, run, install SMC from hand, sell the coalescence for coalescence. So this one can get World Tree down really fast. And then we can coalescence to coalescence, and the next turn telework into telework. Or into Earthrise, probably. So that's okay. This one has the World Tree in hand and has Sure Gamble, so that seems good. 1 influence is DJ. We just cut a DJ on the basis that we thought he wasn't necessary. We can add him back in. I think 1 influence slots are kind of tricky right now. You need to be on 45 cards. I hear you, and I think we'll try 45 cards after. Right now we're going to do like the Mighty Redwood, and then eventually we'll cut it down. Cutting cards is for cowards. Add cards until you get to 99 cards, and then you definitely can't shuffle it. So say we kept the sand, which like, you know, the economy's good. How long does it take us to get a world tree? A long time. It takes to this muse. So 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So here we've gone through, you know, a third of the deck, a bit less. So this is where like having 3 world trees does hurt. Or so this is playable. We have SMC, so you can do muse into SMC. We can get this out. You got a pull set, play set of every card. What could go wrong? Now you have to shuffle that. You get overclocks and cut some numbers of laundries. Cut the overclocks and add some number of laundry gamble. We have all of them. We have laundries, overclocks, and gambles. So this hand is only good if we get a world tree soon, which we do relatively okay. We hit the SMC sooner. This hand we wouldn't keep. This hand we'd have to keep. So we'd start with Diesel. It might be right to start with Sure Gamble to Nuka, depending on the matchup, how fast we have to go. This is the thing about Cataloger. Like, it's just a card that you can drop and just be like, okay, I'm going to control, like, slow down the corporation. It's like a mini burner in some ways. We probably have to set this up. Next turn, we draw 3. Okay, still no world tree. Yeah, this is why we want to get down to 45. Because we're not getting the world tree consistently unless we play 3 world tree. Like, can we keep this hand? Probably not. It takes us to the Muse. We keep this hand. Maybe. We can start with Nuka. Okay, then we probably do use telework. Install telework, use to Earthrise, gain 2. Not great. Oh, we drew a world tree though. Can you do the hypergeometric probability calculator to see in an X card deck with Y cards that would get you what we're looking for? But probably we'd see only 1 cards after Z draws. Yeah, Graham, we do that a heck of a lot. So the basic difference is like how soon. So removing 2 world trees. So let's do hypergeometric. We're going to flashbang because it's going to get real bright real soon. This is stark white. So the idea is, in this deck, we currently have population size of 68. We have 7 successes in the deck. So 3 SMCs, 3 Muse, and then 1 World Tree. So the question is how many cards do we have to sample before we hit 50%? And we want to hit at least 1. So say that we draw the first opening hand. The chance of us finding is 42%. That's not too bad. So say that we draw 10 cards, and 10 cards were meant to be at a 69%. Nice. Now, if we make this to 10 cards, so if we add, or sorry, if we go 9, and then this goes up to 70, it's obviously better. Yeah, 8% better. Flash, no, flashbang still, isn't flashbang still in the format? Or is that a... No, it's still in the format. Didn't even rotate. Mini fridge, yeah, we're doing some math to figure out what we want a world tree in. These are the sort of numbers that, like, I think Seb K even posted. Be like, on 68 cards, you have about a 52% chance of opening with a world tree, which makes sense. This deck, though, has 9 hits as opposed to our deck, which might have 7 hits, depending on how we set it up. Now, if we play something like, say we do population set 45, okay? And then we just play 3 Muse, 3 SMC, 1 World Tree, that's 6. So the chance of getting a World Tree target in our opening hand when we play like a Svelte 45 is 53%. No, it would be 7. 58%. So obviously as this number goes up, that number goes down significantly. Now, the thing is, like, you generally need a World Tree by turn 3. So say we do 45 and 8. So by turn 2, we'll have a 77% chance to find a world tree. I don't have my math class for another hour. Buckle up. Okay, we'll try this and then we'll cut it down to 45 because the 45 numbers are generally very, very exciting. I do think when we're on this number, though, we should probably just play 3 world tree. But we're back at 70. It's just not like, what's the difference now? Is we have trick shots and we're happy about that? I guess so. We'll try using the hypergeometric with NRDB and the draw tester under odds. Look right and click more. What the hell? This was here the whole time? Are you serious? $45,761? That's not different. Huh. Wait, this was here the whole time? I've been flashbanging myself for like ages. What did I search? 7 number card drawn 6-1. Well, the math checks out. Did you not know that was here? No. Do you think I've been enjoying going to stattrek.com and having to squint? A Slay Star board game arrived yesterday. Oh, no way. I guess that's like Kickstarter, right? All right, let's try this. And then we'll go to 45 after. I'm excited to go to 45 now that I've seen the numbers. This is just kind of closer to what I played on the weekend. The only difference is now we're playing Trick Shot. And that seems fun. And we lost the DJ Fenners, which is admittedly a fun card. Do you need Cyber Dahlias or 3xDZ MZ fine? I think you need enough hardware to consistently go get your what's it called? Your lily pad out. I think there's a chance you could play 2 lily pad, 2 Cyber Dahlia. But Cyber Dahlia honestly is good, right? Like just being able to run the cheap stuff and make money means that things are good. Yeah. Yeah, you might not need 3. I do think you need enough hardware cards just based off of ratios to make sure you can get done your lily pad. Cable did play 2 lily pads, I think. Which, like, yeah, that kind of helps as much as, like, obviously the second copy is totally useless. Yeah, this deck is fundamentally very exclamation mark ratios. It's super, super ratios. The problem is, like, I don't know what the ratios are in a Shaper deck. So it's like, how consistently do you need to find a hardware tutor? Stuff like that. And 12 and 70 is like, again, we'd have to check the hypergeometrics to be like, what's the chance that we have a hardware that we want to get rid of in the early game. Cut overclock, play trick shot. I like overclock. Hey, it's CTZ. Hey, hey. All right, Mulligan. This hand has a world tree in it. You can't see it. It's hidden behind this SMC. So we have Econ into SMC. We have Cataloger. We can sell the Telework early if we want to. CTC's been like really high on Crisium the last we played. I don't think we played an Earth Station. There's probably some interesting Earth Station decks out of here. So running HQ is a bit expensive, so iced up R&D. So if we want to run HQ, it's going to cost us a credit. This is a mulligan too, so there's a chance that we'll find something in here. So we could do install Telework, use Telework. So we could run HQ, we'd be down to 10 credits. World Tree comes in for 8, and then we sell the Telework for something, but we lose 6 credits. So functionally, I don't think we want to do that. I think we just want to draw. No way, Earth Station's not on Crisiums? Yeah, definitely this one's on Crisiums. Spin Doctor? Hey, love pie because it's awesome. Welcome. Glad to make it catching you live. Welcome to the stream. So that's the Crisium for sure. So Spin Doctor is actually sometimes not super common in Earth Station because the one of remote server clause could be a bit annoying, and Prisha's not going to help us here. So Miss Bones is the only way that we deal with these. So the question is, do we go for Miss Bones early? Assuming there's 7 credits of trashables on the table. It can't be a successful run here though. So we could consider just like, actually, well, we shouldn't have hit this first, but I don't think we have to pressure this on turn 1. We could pressure Spin Doctor. I think he'll probably shuffle something back, but I think we're in an okay spot here. We definitely should not have hit this first. We should keep as many clicks left before we pressure this so that it's harder for him to react to us. Will we trash a Crisium for 5? I don't know. If we get a trick shot here, it'd be sick. Oh, we do. Wait, actually, that is really cool. Wait a second. No, that's sick. So now we can pressure R&D and Spin Doctor. The question is, what do we need to get through this? We have a Muse, we have an SMC in hand. Let's go. That's cool. Hell of a card. The problem is if we double C2 cards here and Spin Doctor shuffles, like we break our lock. So we have 6 credits here that we probably should use, or 4 credits. We have Spin Doctoring first. Oh, so then we can't get the 2 more credits. So now we should probably Arissana for the credits. So we can use Arissana for SMC, pay the trick shot credits. That's gonna get us our tree. So that's that. We're gonna breach server. We're gonna sell the telework. And I think we'll just get an Earthrise Hotel because we have no card draw. Sandstone into Basalt Spire. That's a good start, I guess. Can you spend trick shot money on Earth Station tax? You can spend the trick shot credits. You can. Wait, you can spend host credits during runs? No, because you pay the cost before to initiate the run, so you can't. I would say no. So we're unlikely to die to double punitive, but possible. But Earth Station says there's an additional cost to initiate the run, so you have to pay all costs before, I think. It doesn't say make a run for free. Yeah, you can, yeah. My favorite part of the trick shot art is the pool ball with the corp IDs. Too good. It's really, really good. And again, shout outs to the players who got that off on the pool table at Netrunner. Okay, so Overclock HQ. It's going to cost us a credit. 2 credits, and then we can get rid of the Crisium. Crisium, funny enough, if CTZ reses it, it actually doesn't cause our first run to be successful, if you know what I mean. So we could install Muse to go get Coalescence. And then we can overclock HQ. And then what are we, this is the thing, is like, what are we trading the program into? Same reason you can overclock Stimec credits? Yeah, because you get them when the run. So this is a Crisium which we definitely need to get down. There might be agendas in here. But the problem is, like, if we do Muse and Coalescence, what are we doing? We're just getting a Coalescence, I think. So we'll go stack for Coalescence. So I wasn't aware of this. Crisium just makes the first run not successful, but it doesn't eat your first successful run. So this costs a credit to initiate it. We have 5, so the Crisium will go down. There's an in-between period there where you're not in the run and trick shots only during a run. Yeah. So World Tree will get rid of this Coalescence. And so the this is where it's obviously very tricky. Coalescence is the thing that pushes us forward. We have no window to use these credits, mind you. Card from hand, Public Trail. That's frightening. Crisium for all our money. We'll take this. So Public Trail into end of line means we die unless we have 4 cards in hand and or 8 credits. So it's easier to have 4 cards in hand. So while we could play the sure gamble here, I'm just going to click for a credit. If it's Public Trail into Retribution, we lose our World Tree. If that's the case, we should get it down to Cataloger or Cyber Dealer or something like that to trade this forward. This also wasn't rezzed. Okay, advance. So this wasn't flipped. That's really important. We have a Hush in hand. 2 cards in archives. Advance. Thinking. No flip though, for obvious reasons. So running this remote server is just running this remote server. So this is where you have a lot of choices. If we install Cataloger, run archives, we can get a simul chip. It's not very good. If we run this, we can't react to it, but we can run this, see what happens, and based off of what happens, then we can run HQ archives probably. We could play a credit for HQ and then get the right breaker. On 14 credits with some sort of tagging matters, this could easily be a Pharos, which we don't break easily in the early game at all. Pharos is what, 5 strength? I think we just run it. I feel like the next set should be space themed. I feel like the whole Earthrise Offworld Office theme should be explored more. That was System Gateway. System Gateway is moon themed, right? There was a station flip? No, there wasn't. No, we would see the other side if there's a station flip, right? So we can't react to this, but we can hush it. Let's see what happens. Could just be Rashida, Charlotte, Sandstone. Oh, we knew that, right? So this one's actually tricky to deal with. So now we can run archives, get a cleaver, and go back. That seems acceptable. I'm actually not sure which one we want to trash there. Yeah, NGO, that's fine. My eyes deceiving. Sorry about that. No, it's all good. Yeah, the other side's like very different art. I like that the color schemes are actually quite different. So Winchester on HQ makes the most sense. What else do we see on HQ? We saw an R&D. We saw Sandstone at the Basalt Spire. So this is where things get scary because then we get locked out. So if we get locked out, we need to be able to get the Muse forward. Unfortunately, we have no way of really breaking. Archer is totally fine, but Stavka and stuff like that we have to worry about. So here now we're kind of dependent on either drawing a Muse, drawing an SMC, which will have MU issues. So we can go a bit slow. Because the remote server, we can always pay 7 to run this. We just need to make sure we're keeping our money up. I think we just take a credit here. Actually, we could run server 2 for 1 credit to trade our daily cast. That's probably fine. Yeah, it's actually free now. So this is where Cyber Daily is kind of sick, right? Because we break for 1, gain 1. And now we can trade our daily cast so we don't lose it. So I think we just want Earthrise Hotel. We just want to continue to have forward momentum. As much as we do have a diesel there. We also could have got a cataloger down and now traded the cataloger into Simulchip, which means we can be a bit more reactive. So Chrysium. So now we have to run HQ twice. There's a flip. So now the remote server costs 6 credits. So the question is, how soon can CTZ res all the ice? Sandstone thinks Rush FA, Basalt to return FA tools. Yeah, but we've also seen send a, what's it called, Public Trail. So there's some amount of like rig shooting going on. And or like end the line. Retribution, like Public Trail as a self-growth program is really good right now. Nobody's playing no free lunch. I don't think we have to do anything here. We can just continue to like set up. We don't have any way to use urban art vernissage. We probably could have dieseled first click there, let's be honest. Yeah. Yeah, we could have, we might have scuffed that a bit. I think we just want to take the Telework credits. We already did, though. So we can throw out the World Tree. It's a bit frightening to run because I'm assuming there's some mean ice here. On 16 credits, he can res anything besides an Archer. Let's give it a shot. We haven't seen anything that trashes programs, but there's definitely Stavkas in here. We don't want to get Stavka. It really like ruins us. So I'm just going to take credits and throw out. Because like currently our best line to contest remote servers just have more credits. No one's running no free lunch. Slots 3 into the deck. For sure, though. So this is probably like a 7 credit Rashida we have to run. Draw. Hedge. Okay, cool. So we still have no way to produce breakers. Now CTC doesn't know that. So if we diesel, we have 5 cards we can find. Muse, SMC, or actually more. We have Simulchip as well. So I think we probably can diesel into, we didn't find any of them. Shit. And then we just do trick shot. And just see how it goes. Border control. Oh, that's really good for us. That's a cheap run. We were scared of this. So this actually makes money. He might probably end the run here. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I hit forward and you hit trash. Yeah. We might decide to run that. Like, it might still be correct. It probably is still correct. But I just want to decide before we, like, get sent on our way. Five ways to get in breakers. We can diesel. We found none of them. Yeah. All you. Okay, so now we actually have to pay 6 credits to run this. That being said, we're going to have 3 credits to run this too. So it functionally, as much as we're only going to spend 1, I think we can afford to run this. It's still a very good run for us. Like, it's a mixture of the click compression and the fact that we break this for free. Now R&D is wide open and we still want to swap. So here we can get telework out and get Miss Bones in, which I think is totally fine. It's a Managarm. Nice. Okay. So we're going to get Miss Bones with this. This is where Miss Bones is sick. So we're going to spend 2 clicks. We're going to discard a bunch of cards, unfortunately. But we'll get telework out, Miss Bones in. Yeah, that's fine. We have to trash the Crazy Mon HQ. Oh, Miss Bones was not necessary. Because we had money there. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, I forgot we still had money left over. That was really, really quite bad. We didn't need Miss Bones there. We could have gone for an economy card. I goofed that. So I had counter credit C11. Yeah, definitely didn't need Miss Bones there. Yeah, we had free money. So we're going to discard some cards here. Our board state does not really require Parisha as much as it's the cheapest program we can install. Trickshot seems good. Telework seems fine. Urban, like, probably not necessary. Cataloger seems really good here. Like, all the cards are good. I think Hush in the bin is totally fine. We'll simulchip it reaction. Actually, no, keeping Hush in hand is good. Whatever. Because we play around board controls. Probably want Bones for HQ. Yeah, Bones for HQ is like what we definitely want. The problem is we can't really easily face check here. But we definitely want to run HQ twice. And Bones down. Okay, Cube on. So, whatever's on R&D just has to go in R&D. If that's the case, we want to check HQ. If it's a Winchester, it's a big trace. I think we just run HQ and see how it goes. Because this being 7 versus being 1 is a huge difference. I don't think there's anything we need to do. Hammer. Okay. Trash one program that has not installed Dakota Fractor Killer. That's really bad for us because we lose the World Tree. So we had a good run. We have nothing from hand that we can install here. Hammer's hard to deal with. It's genuinely hard to deal with. Like, the only thing that we would get through this is like Fazerm Entangler. So we can put the cube on it, which is fine. I don't think we're going to use Arissana. And then we just let it fire. Resource or hardware. This hammer just destroyed us. This is where like face checking without a breaker is really, really bad. I was worried about Winchester, but this is going to win the game. Yeah. I think we're going to lose the game because of this hammer. Hammer's very good. Public trail. Yeah, that's the hammer's legit. Yeah, that's going to cost us the game. Every single subroutine on this matters, this board state. We lost 11 credits and a World Tree. Like, I think I want to fold. Okay, thinking. So we trash this for 5. We go down to 7. We have to clear tag. We're down to 4. Then at least we can create a commission. We're up on an 8. But yeah, the game's over now. That feels really bad. How do we run back through this? Like, trashing the charisma only matters if we can, you know. Wait, that was our last click. Sorry, had to click. Yeah, we can at least credit here. We don't have to go straight into it. Now, in 5 credits, we could run our D. We haven't got our D's to fire. Drafter firing here would be really bad. We'll just do that. So we're constantly playing around public trails. Server 2 being a drafter would be, sorry, a Rashida would be the worst. Hostile, okay, bad publicity. We really do like bad publicity. So let's just get ourselves back in the game. Okay, the Fazerm is how we deal with this. So this is an upgrade, probably a Managarm, something like that. We still have Trick Shot. We have Fazerm. So the only thing that we care about is barriers, which is fine. So then we're going to try and win off of Catalog and go from there. Hostiles are okay for us. But we're no longer a World Tree deck. How soon can we use Takas for using programs? So we can use it for Fazerm. It's not just for breaking. All right. We're going to put off good R&D pressure at least. Okay. Well, we need to run that. Shouldn't be that hard. If this is a virus, then we get like thrown into the hammer and the hammer fires. Like it's pretty bad for us. So we're gonna run this, run that, and when we want 2 clicks here for Managarm. It also could be like the upgrade that traces, so we're gonna overclock it, I think. But now we're gonna run HQ. You can only res on approach though. So if CTZ doesn't res them a virus here on encounter, we're totally safe because you can't res them a virus on encounter. Oh, but then sorry. I was gonna say that, but then I can't install this on an encounter, so it's actually he can respond to it. That's a mistake. No. Oh my god, it's a mess. This is a mess. Sorry. Why don't you just end cataloger and run R&D because we can contest this and flipping our station is worth something. So now he actually can respond to it. So we can use Taka, we can use bad publicity. This will flip the ID. It's a border control in hand, okay. Run server 2. Break for 1, gain 1. Or break for bad publicity, gain 1, seems good. Palpable tilt from the hammer, for sure. It's a Managarm, we'll double click. Oh, we were meant to overclock that too, yeah, we're playing like a mess. It's an SDS, we'll steal that. We'll trash the Muse, I think is the worst card. Managarm, we can leave that now because we have the cataloger. If we overclocked that, we would have been fine. I forgot to overclock that. Yeah, he's on 3-pointers, so I don't think we want to leave the install advance. So now running HQ costs nothing. So he can't flip. So he has to destroy that. But now in 6 credits, we can probably just like cataloger. To hoard him. Okay, that's good. So we can run HQ, cost us a credit. We don't really have an incentive to do that. Let's just set up. We need to find a breaker. Playing laundry for HQ seems clearly better there. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we definitely could have laundried HQ. Discard the wrong card. Takobi. Yeah, it's all good. All right, no worries. We'll draw. So Pichashon means we can pressure HQ a bit. We can even pressure archives and force a res. On 5 credits, it would just be a Stavka. We need to use the Trickster Taka though. So I think we have to just like run the Managarm at a minimum. So if we overclock the Managarm, we can deal with the Managarm now sooner than later before a flip. That's probably fine. We just have to use the Trickster Taka credits. This is only for programs though. We can't take a tag with Taka. This is the problem sometimes with Taka, right? Like it's hard on both sides. So if we just run this, we can overclock Managarm. Oh, we have to pay 5 with the overclock. It's not great, but I don't know what else we're doing here. Will allow me to use Taka before bad publicity. No laundry and archives. I'm scared about like a Stavka. I think we could. It's like, it's not so much we need the money. The thing is like, if he doesn't res, we still have to deal with Taka. Oh, we can always just boost Cleaver though. Yeah, running archives and just boosting Cleaver. I forgot we could just boost it. We don't have to make a success. We don't have to break ice. I was like thinking we have to break ice for some reason. This is good to get the Managarm down though. If we do not click for a credit, we're gonna get hit by the bad thing. You can spend as much as you want on Cleaver. Yeah, we would just have to boost it. We could have considered boosting it. So it looks like an NGO front. Draw. This could give us 2 tags, right? So let's just do it now. Mind you, this actually like legitimately makes us money because we have bad publicity or Cyberdelia. Oh, well, we're going to use that. Wouldn't laundry have been better than click for credit there? Yes, probably. But I think we can do better with our laundry to get an access. Okay, that's important. Because now we have access to SMC. So we probably shouldn't have installed that last click. But now here we can pressure R&D. So we have Unity. So now we just like simulchip install Pichashon, trade Pichashon to get the, probably not the Muse. Is Cataloger better than Trickshot? I think we're just going to go for it. Convoluted, but good. What's our break? Oh, it's Inversificator. I forgot about that. Oh boy, my favorite AD. Dirties, how's it going? Not telling us a corporate runner. So we have to fully break this. It is a bit expensive. And then we can move this to somewhere else. So the question is, what do we want to put here? I think the Horror Sandstone would be the cheapest. Cataloger, look for 4. All right. No tricks here. So there's 4 points there. So we'd have to run back. That's game. Yeah, good game. I don't know what the tag punishment was. Click cataloger? Yeah, you're right. Oh, click cataloger is totally right. I totally forgot about the button. It looked like a BM. That's why CTZ probably conceded. Yeah, we could just hit the button there. We have no reason to run back. All right, Andre, you're getting in this. You thought you were dead? I tilted so hard at the hammer. We like misplayed really, really, really hard. That hammer like absolutely stunned me. Because, okay, things we could have done. We could use our run cards a bit better. I was scared about the face check because another hammer is like not great for us. So we used our research pretty bad. Obviously, we should have just clicked the cataloger. But when you're on game point behind the cataloger, like I don't know what CTC does there. Yeah, I was definitely lost there. We were trying to work a bit too hard. I even thought I didn't even calculate that we're getting Inversificator. I thought we were gonna get Unity, but yeah, Inversificator is in the deck, and it's okay. Archibald's Trial and Retribution were next. Yo, good to game, CTZ. Yeah, I was pretty sure they were on Program Destruction, not like end of line stuff, which like, we have 3 Simul Chip, obviously, but holy shit, the hammer hit so hard. Yeah, hammer was brutal. Yeah, hammer's good. I was like playing around Winchester. It's like, oh, I can trace through most of that, I'm pretty sure, but oh my god, the hammer. Yeah, D was talking about this too, like playing hammer in R+, right? Like you res it for 4 and nobody deals with it well. 3x hammer, yeah, I hear you. If you can afford it, I think it's one of the best dice right now. It just goofs on so much stuff, incidentally. For those who don't know, hammer is the 6 cost. There's 3 subroutines, so it's already really good into like Banhar. If you don't break it, you cannot break more than 1 subroutine except using killers. So it dunks on Lobby Somu, it dunks on Echelon, or sorry, Ngolo, it dunks on Boomerang, it dunks on a lot of really weird stuff, Amakua. And then all the subroutines are really good. Like that bottom subroutine just eats a lot of stuff. The middle subroutine, obviously, like trash hardware, trash resources, busted. And then a tag is just annoying, as much as you don't even have to build into the tag. But resing this for 4 credits in R+, like I'm not sure why I did not see that sooner than later. I wasn't high for putting hammer in my R+ deck. No, really seems really good. Now considering hammer into my Thunderbolt deck, I think it would be one of your better Thunderbolt decks, but it's a destroyer, right? Yeah, it must be. It's just good. It's just good. Is it better than Unsol? Yeah, probably. Maybe not for influence. Lists for interested nerds. Oh, that's me. You nerd baited me. CTZ stinker. Oh no. So it's 2 Mana Garm, yeah. Public Trail, Retribution, yeah. Self-growth program is like what? 2 or 3 influence? 3 probably? Yeah, 3. Yeah, this one's rude. I don't think you spend 3 influence on when you have Retribution though, but that's really, really good. Yeah, 3 Archer. I guess what they oh, we didn't see the Eminence. That's kind of cool. Not that much ice. So the hammer's the only bad face check there. Oh, no, now Archer's relevant, but whatever. All right, let's play back. Thanks for sharing the deck list. I'm gonna keep that open so I can share it. Core runner. Hey Jakob, how's it going? Just dropping to say there's a new game that's aggro promoting Netrunner. Saw 2 the Discord Wormwood, basically Civ, Builder, Netrunner, Bookkeeper out. I've seen Wormwood a fair bit. I know they're like doing a lot of advertising. I've been getting pop-up stuff. It's like Netrunner adjacent. It's been advertised on Shut Up and Sit Down, so I think a lot of people know what it is. I'm excited to actually play it. Hey, I haven't played it yet. I read the rulebook and I thought the rulebook was kind of messy. I'm excited to see how they iterate on that because it was an early rulebook. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I want this to be bored. Oh, real funny. So Rahi makes this. If I'm not mistaken, Rahi was in New York and XTG was there, and XTG was like, hey, Mulligan, sorry, let me figure this out first. This is a good hand. And XTG was like, oh, you've made Cyberfeeder. Cyberfeeder's the best. I owe you a dinner. And I think Rahi thought that he was joking. And then they went out for dinner. He bought dinner. And she was like, wait, what? Really? He's like, yeah, of course. You kidding me? Cyberfeeder slaps. If I ever find Rahi, I'm buying Rahi dinner for sure. I think it's really, really cute. Hey, Sangren, are you playing the Mile High Woo deck? I showed it on stream too. I can't even pick it all up with one hand. But yeah, we cut a couple cards, so we're down to 68. How you doing, man? It's great to see you in person. Clearly you got yourself back. Also, Sangren, I realized whose face I saw on the signs. New Hampshire road sign. The face that I thought was Lincoln was this. That is the Man in the Mountain, which from my understanding doesn't exist anymore, but it was in New Hampshire. It was a real road sign. It was not Abraham Lincoln. But I was trying to figure out what face I saw driving in because I couldn't tell what was going on. So we have Nuka. Okay, so if we do Nuka, use Nuka, daily cast, creative is fine. We don't have a huge incentive to run here. If he scores at a hostile, we're in a good spot. We'll go from there. Yeah, the sign mystery is totally solved, man. Yeah. It is the Man in the Mountain, which I think his nose fell off or something. Yeah, we're playing like big Arissana. We're going to try 45 card World Tree Arissana in a bit. Yeah, hostile, sick. So if we put down like an SMC or something like that, we would actually be okay into this. But now with bad publicity, the fact that we want to do all our installing on run speed is pretty good for us. So in theory, if we have to play around things like Valenchow, and we have to watch out. Mind you, a Trebuchet is going to ruin us. Hey, Martin, how you doing? So if we go ahead and we Dirty Laundry Archives, we'll have 5 credits plus 6 with bad publicity. The Muse combo costs 10 up front. So we probably can just wait another turn. We won't be able to Dirty Laundry next turn. So if Diesel hits like a sure gamble, I think we're in a good spot. We don't really want a trick shot because if it's like, firstly, you want to kind of gate how much bad publicity. And I'm going to keep the nuke around because I think the nuke is, well, actually we don't need to keep the nuke around, but we have a Diesel in hand. Okay, we didn't draw economy there. Dirty Laundry for 3 credits might just be fine so that we can set up either this turn or next turn, but we've got our first successful run. So yeah, this I don't love. We could probably hold this, but if we didn't draw into economy, I think we just need to get the money up. So here, what do we want to do? I think the Diesel's kind of the worst card here. We're going to be 11 credits, 13 credits next turn when we run. And then we do the Muse into combo, but we're going to use, we'll keep the nuke. 2 catalogers seems like a bit much. The Cleaver's really good because the deck is on like Border Control, Valenchow, Trebuchet. Trebuchet we generally want to mana to Fisarum. Let's just do that, whatever. It's fine. You just try Cable Carnage the list. He published the same idea as my engine deck, but replaced his clunky engine pieces for broken shaped cards, and it was great to see in person. Glad to made it back safely. Yeah, it was only like a 6-hour drive back. It's not too bad. Yeah, a lot of this, as you know, is inspired by Cables. I haven't seen the published list, but like the whole idea of playing Versificator is really cool. Planogram, okay. Upgrade on R&D, okay. Not sure exactly what that would be, but that's really nice with Catalog and Trick Shot. So we're on 14. This could seem like soft tag punishment, but I'm pretty sure Boris might just want to go fast. Reduce service, oh, cool. This is not a great res. So the additional cost, the runner either has to pay 8 credits, but every time you make a successful run on the central server, they lose a counter here. So you do pay 4 credits. So not too bad. You don't see this card very commonly. It's generally meant to be like Earth Station support. But now if we run Archives to do our combo, you know, it gets 2 credits worth every time. So I think we are going to Diesel first. Okay, well, things have changed. Things have changed. So that actually becomes a bit cheaper, but not too much cheaper. So now our hand is locking card draw. So I think we'll just World Tree and we'll change Nuka into something. We can't just put the Cubone on the table and not really care. We're going to go HQ eventually. But now the Nuka will become an Earthrise for free, which is kind of what we need here. And we can just click for credit to keep our money up. They cut the World Tree for tournament viable time thing. Yeah, I hear it. I really want to play the sort of World Trees that I know like you and Izzy were playing. Or sorry, not World Tree, RE decks, because they just seem consistent. Second hostile. Okay, so 2 bad publicity. 2 ice reses will be a problem. But that's okay, because now everything is a lot cheaper. Okay, so what do we want to World Tree? We want to World Tree this Cubone. Unfortunately, actually throwing out the second cataloger might have been incorrect, because it's obviously like the hardware, and getting a lily pad down here would be pretty good. So if that's the case, we only have 1 more left, but we have a Conduit, and I think Conduit's pretty good against the outfit, because the ice a lot of times gets invalidated really cheaply if you just put a Trojan on it. So we're going to go here. Yeah, this is fine. We'll sell this. We'll get a lily pad for free. Now we install the Muse. I don't actually want to install the Muse from hand here, because the Muse in hand is really quite good, because it can become the Fisarum, which we need for the face check. So this lily pad might not do anything. We might just be able to do credit, because Because this Q-Bon is gonna be what we're gonna trade next turn. We can consider running HQ. If that's the case, we like Arissana. Yeah, we could maybe do it. We could also just consider running Archives, get the reduced service down, but then running HQ is kind of fine. If Valen Chow is rezzed here and we go down to 3 bad publicity, I think we're okay. So we're gonna run here and just hope it's not Trebuchet. If it is, we can react to it. Oh, it's a Ballista. Interesting. So installed one programmer end the run. So they're probably going to go for the program trash, which means we likely have to get through this with the Muse. It means we're going to lose the Muse because we've already done our World Tree. So we'll go for the stack for a Physarum, and we actually make money running this. This deck has no slap vandals, and you know the versions I played, oh that's scary, are on 3 slap vandals. But now Physarum takes that spot. I do like slap vandal though, and I think playing a single slap vandal is pretty good, and then the urban art vernissage gets a bit better. We can run back. What do we want to discard? We have an easy discard in the hand. We can run back. We make money doing this. It's just if we hit a snare last click, okay, so be it. Chrysium. I don't think we care about Chrysium. Reduced service now is totally reduced. We'll just throw out the World Tree. Rahi, how's it going? How's your dinner? I just said on stream that if we ever meet, I owe you a dinner as well. I thought it was a really cute story I heard from David. Glad to hear that you can make some events in New York. All right, 17 credits. Still only 2 bad publicity. 4 bad publicity is a huge jump spot because then the regulatory captures that get stuck in hand become 4/2s. Now we have to worry about big deal, which on 17 credits might make sense. Zato means that the ice might be a bit more sharp. Oliver's Astoria is great. Is that the restaurant or is that a person? It sounds like a restaurant in Astoria. And we've also like overcommitted to a single ice. So like Boris could easily overinstall this and trash 2. Installed then draw. I don't know what server 3 is. Like it kind of has snare energy because with bad publicity, not a lot here makes sense. We have a Muse in hand, which is sick. It's a Netrunner playing restaurant bar. Oh, cool. Very, very cool. I'm expecting this to be a snare. I think a snare is acceptable. It also could be a spin doctor. But I think this is, yeah, okay. That's good to get out of the way. Oliver's is the bar we have our meetups in Queens. Oh, super cool. So hedge fund and unknown. So now we want to consider pivoting to getting our conduit down. This ice again, Trebuchet, all this sort of stuff. Checking HQ here is really cheap and he drew a lot. This makes a fair bit of money. Oh, we forgot a World Tree target. It's okay. This is what we're going to do. So the question here, would it be good to get down if we had DJ Fenders? If we did, I don't think it's that great. So I think we're just going to go for Earthrise. Planogram, okay, for speed. We want to get a couple axes here. Obviously, the game could be an R&D. And then last click, we can just install the SMC to draw a card. But our money is good. Audacity. Okay, so SMC threatens Clot. We will draw a card. We'll discard... I don't think we need 2 trick shots when we have 2 bad publicity. But now in theory, Boris has to like respect Clot. I think he knows that we're not on Clot because we're not on Clot. And he's in was in the stream chat. Trick shot's also multi-axis. Yeah, but we have conduit. I don't think we're gonna need more. So new feature I wrote. Discard pile animation. Wait, how does that work? What's discard pile animation? I like the thumbs up, thumbs down for the mulligan. I think it needs to be bigger still. I want it to be like a colored box or something to make it very obvious when you're scrolling, but that's a great help. The icons are sick. What's a discard pile animation? Like when cards get discarded? Am I missing it? Archer is also something we have to expect. You need to turn on scripts tab first. Maybe I don't have that. Hold on, things are happening. No action. Planogram, second click. Okay, interesting. Generally, you want to try and do your card drawing sooner than anything else on their turn. I still think this deck has snare energy to it. What's the scripts tab? Oh, okay. So now there's things out there. Now assets aren't particularly good. Definitely want to pull Peach Shop for the conduit turn? Yes. But we're probably going to have to pull a breaker. Let's be honest. Okay, Parisha's not necessary because of bad publicity. Getting the DZ down is kind of nice because our MU is a bit busted. So that's the card I think I want to protect the most. Do we have a World Tree trigger? I don't think we actually need to do much with the Cubon because breaking is free. It's not bad. I think this is the card that we really care about the most here. Oh, in the menu. Okay. We'll check these. We'll want to click left if it is a snare. Target for World Tree. What would Cubone get us here? It draws a card, which is nice. Yeah, let's just draw a card. So we'll go get a Coalescence, I think. Or we can get an Echelon and just have a Panic Echelon. That's fine too. It's a Crisium Grid. Cool. Yeah, you can put that out there. It's not Centrals only. Easy to miss. Technically, if he rezzed it, we actually wouldn't have got a World Tree, which is only like slightly annoying. Red cap on the table. Okay, not too bad. So we are now in a relatively good spot that we can start, you know, just getting down Conduit and going. On 2 bad publicity, it's hard to do like really mean stuff here. Going up to 20 credits. I don't want to run last click because of that snare problem we talked about. So I just think we're just going to throw up Arisha and go from there. I think we're supposed to install Coalescence from hand on that turn. Oh, just to get rid of it? Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I don't think we're going to struggle to get World Tree value. Just installing this and getting rid of it from hand is a bit better. Especially with the DZ too and the bad publicity. Yeah, that makes sense. HQ looking juicy for red caps on the table? Yeah. I think we just go HQ, it's free. Next turn we'll do it to try and install the Coalescence and then get something for it. I'm not sure what. The animations are slightly wonky for me, but at least lets me know something's happening in whatever zone. Thanks for the good work. Yeah, Cypher Feeder is so good. Audacity. Hold on, I got a clot. That looks like it's fine. Above the law. Okay. He knows I don't have clot, but you have to ask for a clot. I could have a clot on that one. On that note too, you want to advance first, then ask for action, and then you want to just go ahead and hit the button, the Audacity. You don't want to do Audacity then advance, because if they have clot, they can react to it. That's all good. All right, we lost our card draw. That's a bummer. We still have card draw. So we're gonna run archives. Arissana, Coalescence, draw a card, paid ability, breach, target for World Tree. We have the Conduit in hand. Oh, we now use Arissana, so we can't muse for Pichachon. So actually, that was wrong. We would have mused for Physarum. I guess if that's the case, we just break it for Echelon. So we're probably going to start by trick shotting more sooner than getting the Conduit down, because it's just locking the top 2 is going to do enough work right now. So we'll get rid of this, and I think we just get another Coalescence. Getting a Hush on this is actually pretty interesting, because it denies bad publicity, which denies Boris's win condition, as much as it also denies what we want to do. What are we at? 1 of 7 MU? We could go for a Turbine. Not necessary, but fine. Oh, that's a lot of points. I don't think I'll get hand animation working before JNet devs get it done first. Oh, how often do you talk with the JNet devs? Mavirus? Okay, going to purge a Physarum. You can World Tree for Pichachon? Yeah, but we can't really face check. I guess we could with Echelon now. So now there's no bad face check here, right? Unless it's like a Piranhas, but I don't think we care. So we'll just trick shot R&D. We can trash Crisium. It is a Piranhas. Really funny. I can just do net damage. It's fine. Don't hit our Conduit. I don't want to pull our breakers. Lost overclock. It's fine. So he drew 1 card. We can go find out what it is. That's cheaper than breaking it for sure. You have an SMC installed? Yeah, but like I don't want to bring in the 6 credit thing to break a 6 strength Valenchow. Envelopment. Cool. That's important. Gov sub. Okay. We'll trash that. With these credits. We might as well trash Crisium. Actually, no. I don't think we have any reason to trash Crisium. It's free though, so why not? So we can run HQ. Cost us 2 credits. Worth it. Occasional showcase and discussion GLC. We don't have an emergency phone line. Get them on the horn. Spin Doctor. Ooh, that's a good trash. And I think we'll just draw here. So we know it's Envelopment in hand. Next draw is a Gov sub. And then Boris has to figure out how to win from here, which is pretty difficult. Okay, that's an Envelopment. Is the chat not scrolling? Credit. Okay. So now the question is, how do we go through Piranhas? We can just go through Piranhas. We probably want to get our Inversificator down and just shift it over. Like that's probably what we want to do here. It's going to be a bit expensive, but money doesn't seem to matter off the top decks here. So we're going to SMC.
Yeah, we'd actually been better. It would have been much smarter to use the credits from the run instead of trashing the Chrysium grid to SMC proactively for the Inversificator, because it costs 8 credits. It is very expensive. Pop SMC on the Corp turn. We lose the bad publicity. I don't think the card draw is that important. Feels like it could be an Orbi or Lobi deck. Maybe it could be. But I think we definitely threw just like 6 credits into the toilet that we should have used on SMC. I don't think we have a reason to draw unless we draw into the one of. But I want to swap the Ballista with the Piranhas because Piranhas is going to be annoying. So install Conduit for 3. We know the top card of the deck, so it's no big pressure to do anything. So I think we just do draw Creative Commission. We don't have to run here. And then next turn we'll start with the Conduit. If Boris draws, so we know in hand's a Gov sub. Going from 16 to 21 doesn't change the game. So unknown in HQ. It could go behind the envelopment. Cleaver, mind you, is going to come down very free. And now ice on R&D. Okay. The 1 credit from DZ? Yeah, but like, whatever. Yeah, maybe. Nah. So, hopefully this is a cheap code gate. That would be like, I think the best case. Installing another program also means we save credits on Ballista. So I think we're just going to run R&D. We don't have to hit the Conduit. I know we can. Let's see what happens. No action. Border control. Okay. That is annoying. Because the Cleaver's in hand. We don't want to muse for the Cleaver. I think we can just let that fire. Alright, let's just spend a lot of money. Wait a second. I'm a chump. Why pay 8 when you can spend 3? Andre, what are you doing? This is free. You don't crack the SMC. Did we mess this up really bad last turn? Yeah, why? Why would we do that? So now I don't have a risk to run R&D last click here. Like install Cleaver run is not very good because we can die to snare. So next turn we can do Coalescence for 3 credits. It's the same as like not installing it now. Shaper Brain Rot. Yeah, SMC pilled. So we can install the Coalescence. A Cyberdelia here would be okay. If we install the Coalescence, we lose the DZ. We also lose the draw, but we're going to get the draw anyways in the Coalescence next turn, whatever. This is better than not. And then we have a target. Well, we're going to sell this. I don't think we have to do anything. We can install the Nuka there. I'm sure you didn't just crack the SMC when you ran into boarding control because I didn't want to pay 8. Like I want to pay 3 on successful run and we had the Cleaver in our hand. So like next turn we just install Cleaver from hand. Spin Doctor. Okay, 2 unknowns in hand. HQ is a free run. Peach of Shaw is probably now. We just run HQ, get Coalescence on the Ballista, and we're going to have an MU problem. Yeah, we need card draw. Hopefully we draw an MU card with Lilypad. We have 4 MU cards left in the deck. Yeah, 4 MU cards. Running Spin Doctor also sort of matters. On the basis that like this allows Boris to break lock. Credit. Okay. So we're going to run HQ. We're going to break this for 1, which is bad publicity. We're going to trade our Coalescence into a Peach of Champ. I think we're going to put a Peach of Champ on the Ballista. Yeah. You're sort of the point where you just override the tree with Cleaver. Yeah, but we don't need to. But you're not wrong. Nice. MU card Descent. Okay. So we can do Cyberdelia. I just don't want to run last click. Like we have to take no risks here. So this is the first time we break all subroutines, so it's already fired this turn. So I don't think we need to like, we could greet this out. Okay, overclock's good, Cubon's fine. We don't really need a Takobi. We don't need a Muse. We probably don't need a Telerik, let's be honest. Yeah, I think keeping a Takobi and throwing out a Muse there is totally acceptable. With the 1 red cap out, right? Like we're still only on 3 bad publicity, so you can't score at the next red cap. So it's unknown in hand. Unknown in hand. What did we see? So Descent in hand, 2 unknowns. Descent is a liability because we can just move it onto R&D, right? Like that's what the Inversificator does. It really messes with the ice. Not that you can like not reclaim Descent, But at this point, we just need to start hitting R&D with Conduit. Zato goes back in Planogram. Oh, Zato's actually kind of scary. We have no good way of dealing with Zato besides Hush. So Unknown could be a Zato. Wait, are we just going to lose to Zato? I don't think we have to... Do we have to run the remote server? No. We can also like just get ice on the remote server that isn't Zatoable. Okay. And we just run R&D a couple times. Break for free. Gaining a credit. So game's probably over this turn. Pay 5. We'll swap with a Ballista. So now the server is pretty cheap. And by cheap, I mean free. World Tree, I didn't consider that. MU. I guess we'll just go right to Nuka to get like anything that pushes us forward. None of these really push us forward. I guess Taka? Daily cast seems fine. We just don't need money. Too big to fail. We don't need to trash that. I sees another card though. But I think if he draws that, it's fine. Yeah, I think Taka might have been okay, but we have like 3 bad publicity. I don't see us like using it anytime soon. It's comparable to daily cast for how long the game's gonna go on. Just run back and win? Yeah, we're gonna run a couple times. Is this a conduit run? It is. It's kind of stuck in a weird spot. So Pichashon fired once. Oh, we can cube on from hand, right? Yeah, we just have an MU issue. We're not actually spending money. Sign the Cubo, yeah, we would have to destroy something. Over the tree? Yeah, over the tree is totally fine. I just don't think it's totally necessary. We could be on a lot more money. Doesn't really matter though. I think keeping the World Tree around is better than just getting an extra like 8 credits. As much as it is going to be more than 8 credits. Like, it's actually probably better to install the Pichashon over the World Tree. That's one more click. That's a lot of 5-cost trashables in a row. Okay. Let's just do one more. Get Cataloger? At this point, it's too late. And we'd have to trash one of our MU. We only have one more Cataloger, but Cataloger now is not that great once we were like this deep into the thing. If Boris shuffles, then we can go for the Cataloger. But then like, you just see 4 anyways with Conduit. Oh, Mavirus. Sick. That's a hard time to know when to purge, but that's totally fine for us. Ballista. Oh, Blueby's flecked. I gotta ban you, sorry. Ignore that bot, please. So now we can safely run back and not have to worry about snare, which is totally fine. We'll just do this again next turn, right? It's a lot of clicking. Do we still have the Ari install? We do. So we could have gone for the Pichashon back on that one. We'd have to trash one of our cards. I think unarguably we get rid of the World Tree. Overclock is actually the worst card there. It's fine. It's not going to matter. All right, so we know the next cards are too big to fail. So no ice are coming up. You can use the fully break button. Have I not been? All right, so now R&D is totally unknown. Okay, 1 unknown in hand. I don't think we care about it. Oh. Don't you like clicking on it? You wouldn't need to trash because it bounced a hand, freeing up MU. Oh yeah, sick. Yeah, why not then? Okay, we have one more MU if we need it. We probably won't need it before the game's over. There's 1 unknown in hand and then another unknown in hand that's been there for a bit. World Tree. I don't think so. Descent, okay, that's a bad draw. Piranhas, that's an okay draw. The fully break button's a bad habit that I indulge in. Yeah, it's not the best thing to always do. In this board state, it's great, but I think there are a lot of Netrunner players that just hit the button all the time, and a lot of times it's wrong. You want to like figure out which ones you want to break and which you don't. It's a time saver though, for sure. Descent piranhas, border control. Maybe there's an agenda in hand, huh? One, two, three. Okay. Oh, game. Yeah, right. That matchup is really hard. Arissana into outfit is very, very difficult. That happened at what's it called? At Mansion Runner. My opponent did concede. But I was like fully locked R&D, no cards in hand. I was yeah, I couldn't find the points for sure. Yeah, Terrifying Insight. It's hard to get out of that for sure. We break everything making money. 3 bad publicity when we want to run. It's very, very hard. I'm definitely liking the Versificator in this list for the you need a tunnel to a server. Yeah, it's cool. It like gives you a bit of disruption for a deck that's like, besides the value crimes World Tree does, gives you some control over the game. And there are ice that this rig does not break very, very well. Like 2 piranhas on R&D is not easy for us to deal with. Like that's definitely worth keeping in mind. But then there's enough like magnets and like, you know, descents and Thimble rig doesn't do it. But you know what I mean? Like it's nice. It gives you control. Either to like tunnel this remote server and play remote camp or like to do this sort of nonsense. 16 seems about right. 16 seems like a good spot. Yeah. Condo also has an auto resolve for placing the virus counters. Really? I definitely should be hitting that button. Yeah, that's a good button to hit. There's a bunch of triggers I don't like to auto resolve, like 419, just so I pay attention, but this one I don't care about. Hey, thanks, C2. Oh, gone. Let's do one more. I like this. It's so much easier to play online because you don't have to shuffle all the time, but I do want to do one more of these and then we'll try the 45 version to see what it looks like. I think I have an idea what NetDad was saying about the 45 version. That's still like one World Tree. Hey, Seymour, how's it going? Good evening. When people join as spectators, like it does not make joining the room as a player easier. I appreciate it and I like it, but there's no way that someone sees a room with a spectator and joins. It feels like you're walking into like an intervention of some sort. Oh, I'm glad you can make it. What do you need to play around? Reverse infection? Toronto, I do not think that you need to do that. For those who don't, wait, reverse infection. Isn't that the... I thought you meant like the one that puts 3 counters on conduit. This is not what I meant. This is fine. We're playing around this by having 70 cards, right? How's Mansion Runner? You probably talked about it. It's really great. It was really, really good. First time ever being. Just the people there are so nice. Like, we played a lot of board games, hung out. All that was great. But just like hanging out with the people there is just so charming. So what did I end up playing? Well, okay, the night we came in pretty late. And then at like 10 o'clock, Sangren was like, we got to play. It was kind of a joke who suggested like we should play Brass Birmingham, which Jeff really likes. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. And so Eli and Daria were like, yeah, we'll learn. And so Jeff was like, it's a 2-hour game. Don't worry. I'm like, it's not a 2-hour game. And we ended up playing Brass from like 10 with a teach until like 2:30 on the first night, which like I would do it again. It's really, really funny. And we had a great time. Hey, and I think Eli, excuse me, and Daria really enjoyed it, which was great. Any chance Muse is a sign we'll be seeing more Daemons in the future? Oh, I think for sure. It's surprising that we didn't see Daemons already, considering like Daemons were like in the core set, 2012 core set. Like Daemons have been around for a really long time in Netrunner. It took a surprisingly long while for Daemons to show up from NSG. What else did we play? I was taught Dune Imperium by Eric from Neon Static. I won my first game. I was very hungry the whole time, so I barely talked. I just sat there and like I like went to combat never. I played, for those who know, I played young Willy Wonka, and I never got any sandworms. I just like played with the Bene Gesserit and just bought a bunch of cards, and it worked out. I played a whole championship with Heavy Rain and Heat, came in second. A shout out to Izzy, who took second place, which was the first place standing on the podium. That was really fun. I played Blood on the Clock Tower for the first time, and it was so wild because I played with people who've played like hundreds of games. So we'll speak about it with D. Hey D, played with D, and just such a ridiculous game because it was my first game and I was the mayor, and it was just such a great combination of things. But D has played a lot, and it was very, very just watching D play at full speed, at full intensity was something else. Hey, thanks, you too. Great to see you this weekend, by the way. I don't like the sand. Yeah, the outcome of the Blood in the Clock Tower game was so funny because I was one of the last 3 survivors and I didn't know what to do because I was like a newer player and I had no information because I was the mayor. And the mayor just wants to get to the last day and say nobody votes for anybody on this last day. And if nobody votes, we win. But then people couldn't tell if I was like the demon because if no one votes on the last day, the demon wins. So it was just like fantastic. And I was in a situation where Kyle basically forced everyone to vote for me so that I would vote for somebody else because he knew he would not get a vote out of me. So he forced me into a corner and it worked out. Watching a con environment update, which is less fun. Wait, what? I'm not sure I know what that means. Blood in the Clock Tower is like Werewolf plus, yeah, with a lot of like interesting roles. And very specifically, there's a GM. So shout out to Holly who GM'd. So Holly's job is to make sure that things are progressing because there's a lot of like situations in which the GM can give people information or like make things work in a certain way. Like technically the mayor has plot armor. And Holly went out of the way to give me plot armor because there's an understanding as a new player. Ah, very good. Yeah, Dune Imperium was cool. What else did we play? Played a bunch of Netrunner, original Netrunner. We played one of Teo's like prototypes for a game. It was pretty cool. Played Crokinole. Some trick-taking games, Code Marvelous taught. It was a game master. Yeah, it's really good. Blood and Clock Tower is cool. Yeah, it's my first time playing. It's always been like on my thing to do. Okay, a program is the call. This looks like Rashida. So Asmari can be a couple things like Glacier, or it could just be like Retribution Kill. I don't think I've seen D play Retribution Kill. I think D is going to be on like double hammer Asmari. So playing a program is not exactly what I want to do. On 9 credits, D cannot res Hydra, which is not great, but there's some other bad stuff here. So we could draw, we could just do Daily Cast Creative. We can set up our World Tree relatively soon, just probably not this turn. Okay, so we Telerik Daily Cast Creative. So I think we're just going to install everything. And then we'll have some economy. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, shout out to trick-taking games. Code Marvelous is so trick-taking build. So I didn't get to play French Terror, but we played, I think it's called Aurum, which is this weird you cannot follow trick-taking game, which was kind of cool. You play in teams. I need to see what else I played. There was a lot of really cool stuff. I think I got it all in the app. Oh, Go. Yeah, I've not played Go before. So Izzy's like pretty good at Go. And so I played a game against Jeff with like a lot of coaching from Izzy. I started with like 4 pieces on the board and managed to beat Jeff. I accidentally in the middle of the board captured a massive like just a wang shape. And so for every time everyone walked up and looked at the board, they'd be like, oh, I see. You've made a powerful shape there. So could we die? What could this be? Non-equivalent looks more like re-education combo. So if it's a Hydra, that's fine. We can SMC into the one that beats us into the thing that beats Hydra. So maybe it's a Piranhas. Yeah, Go is like not exactly the kind of game I thought I would like because I don't like chess. I don't like these abstract with no randomness games, like, you know, the full information puzzle games. So I'm still not seeing what I'm meant to be doing. Like I don't understand the shapes thing, but I'm 1.5 games in. Like it's not going to come that simple. So for us to die here, they would need like seamless into. I don't think we need to do that, but I do think that this non-equivalent looks more like its re-education combo. I think we have a turn probably to do something. I need to shout out something that D did. By the way, the last QTM video stream was really great. Hey Mel, I gradually fell out of love with Avalon a while back, but I would love to try Blood and Clock Tower. It's something different. Yeah, the last QTM stream was really good. I actually shouted it out. I wasn't familiar, but like D was joined by our anonymous friend, and like the two of them went together over a bunch of the replays from Fight Club, and it's just very, very good. I think we're just gonna draw a bit. I think we can contest this with just an SMC into Fizerum. But if it's just a what's it called? Yeah, playing open deck lists. I feel like it's kind of the only way I want to play. Yeah, playing open deck lists is just kind of fun because the reads are important. It's harder to make, like, you can make really intelligent reads and really intelligent plays when you know information that you're playing with. It's weird because I talked about not liking Go, but like, yeah. Well, I have so much on that one. Well, I don't know if I have 2 hours. I'm just gonna draw up a bit. Okay, we have a World Tree. That's cool. We definitely want to hit a telework. So we do World Tree, run HQ. We can trade not much really for it, worth doing. Because this is sort of like don't die list. We don't exactly need the World Tree. We just want to get our money up. Having a simul chip on the table for one click here seems okay. Once we get down our lily pad, we can actually use the simul chip to like draw a card and then like maybe play around. No, it doesn't actually really play around re-education neurospike. So in places where like there's no way I think about this play if I'm doing with a time scroll. Yeah, that's true. I somehow had no idea QTeam did YouTube content. Yeah, me neither. I really didn't. They don't have a lot of subscribers, so I need to shout them out. But they're putting up really good stuff. It's just I don't know, because I haven't been plugging it. I don't know if other people didn't know it's there, but it's really good stuff. I'll just take a credit. What size was your board? Oh, we were not doing 13 by 13. I think we're doing 9 by 9. But we weren't doing like the small one. We were doing the medium one. Because Izzy had a nice board that has like both sides, like the full one and then not full. I'm so bad at Go Mango. Yeah, you and I both. Oh, Spin Doctor. I'm super excited for the future of Fight Club. I never know if it's Fight Club or Fight Night. Rashida and Hedge Fund going back in. Yeah, Heat expansion was like exactly what you wanted it to be. It's pretty great. I didn't know QTM did YouTube content. Yeah, they do. I'll plug a thing after this for the news section, but QTM recently did a stream while D's figuring out their turn. So the problem with QTM, hey, QTM, if you're watching this and you control the YouTube channel, you really need to, you can control what's on the front page. You need to get a tab here for your live things. Because this is a problem with YouTube. YouTube is bad at showing live content. So QTM's been streaming, but all their streams are back here. So if you just go to the Querying the Message YouTube channel, this is all you get. So you just need to put the carousel here that is the live content, because this was streamed a day ago where D and again our anonymous friend went through a bunch of the replays. They didn't go through the 2-hour one, which they're going to go through later. I only watched the first one so far. Links for this will be in the description, the first game. And that was a really fun game. And D gets to talk about all the reads they made, their opening start, which is like a slightly unconventional start that was like made a lot of sense in the matchup. And then the two very good players get to argue about like why they think certain lines work. And then it's just like the sort of content you definitely want to watch. That's here. It's 2 hours and a half. I have to watch the second half of it because I just got back yesterday. Okay, install, double ice, still calling program. The PE game concluded? Yeah, on the following day. He does an expansion. Yeah, it's like, it only adds one more car, which is a bit annoying. But here, if we do World Tree, we can do World Tree, change the telework for, I think it's fine. We just need to make sure that we're able to run this soon enough to not die. So if D has exactly seamless, advance, no. So next turn we could die with Hollowman, because it could be Hollowman into seamless into Neurospike. I think with the non-equivalents, this might not be Glacier. It might be kill. But I do think D is probably playing also as Mari Glacier with Hammer. So we can give them 2 credits. So we do World Tree, sell Cubon for, I think we sell the Telework for card draw. If that's the case though, like this is where Burner's good in the matchup. We're going to use Arissana to install a program because we've already installed the program. So a lot of the ice, like in this deck, we have no good way of dealing with wraparound. Like we just genuinely have to find our fractor. So SMC now can't deal with 2 ice that well. So we need the card draw from this. We do have SMC into simul chip, which is pretty good. So let's get the simul chip on the table. So if we need to do that, it's okay. And we can always like trick shot to get some more credits on server 1. I don't think anything like maybe R&D hurts us. Oh, we don't have a stone chip in the deck. If we had stone chip, we would pull it for if we thought it was combo. Stone chip is really good into combo. Unfortunately, we don't have it. Does he get much better if you do the campaign World Cup stuff? 100% Shent. How's it going? I played only a few free races with some mates and came away feeling good more than great. So as soon as you start playing campaign mode, you actually get a draft cards. Oh, it's Glacier. That make your deck different, like fundamentally different. So that you have cards that like, and then every time you draft cards that are either good for that race or work with the other cards in your deck. And then there's like sponsorships. So certain corners you want to take aggressively and then people take photos of you and those become one-time play cards. It's a lot more interesting. And then there's like Yeah, it's very, very cool. The one-of races I think are actually fantastic. And then with everything on top of it to get that sort of narrative and a bit of control and deck building, it's even better. All right, so it looks like it's Glacier. So if we run HQ, programs the call. We don't have MU, so that's going to be a problem. So I think if that's the case, we can just like nuke and set up a bit. It's going to be a slower game. Fizzarum in hand is huge. Now the deck is only on 6 agendas, so catalogers are pretty good. Trickshot's okay. But we need another piece of hardware. The question is if we're going to run here. We probably do get rid of the daily cast at a minimum. It's just click for daily casts. We get rid of the Cubon, but I don't think there's anything we really want here. The base game left me pretty sour as well. Just add the mini expansion makes it good. So the mini expansion adds very little. It adds like 2 maps and then like a new type of mechanic that you can add on some of the like upgrade cards. But I think the mini expansion is by no means necessary, but the new maps like Mexico and Japan were really seemed like high skill maps. Like Mexico seemed tricky and then Japan seemed tricky but fun. Like more fun. Like I enjoyed it. But Mexico seemed like if you were bad, you can mess it up because it has like really tight chicanes and stuff. So if you want more of the game, I think the maps are a bit more like skill testing, which I think is sick. So generally daily cast here is fine. And I think we can just get them the sure gamble. This is where like playing the deck, like we definitely need an MU card here, but we need a transition to getting all our breakers down. Because this is the matchup where you want to get down Turbine and Takobi and then start invalidating Ice. The issue is we're on not 2 turbines, we're on Turbine and Takobi. Fizzarum Hydra or Toll Booth is illegal. It's so bad. Resing a Toll Booth for 10 and then Fizzaruming it, it's like, yeah, it's game over. Would be hella funny if the Echo Chamber was a psyop for combo kill. Yeah. Okay, 13 credits, Earthrise. Okay, so MU's the issue, but we can definitely get through 1 piece of ice. So server 1 is looking like a spin doctor. Generally these decks are on 2 Echo Chambers, but D has no reason to fire the second one. Oh, you're talking about the paparazzi and weather. Oh, I really enjoyed that stuff. So on 17, we can trash the Q-bomb, we can SMC from hand, and we can get through 2 pieces of ice. So let's see what this is. If D-res is a Hydra, we're in a really good spot. I think we can just send it. We have a bunch of targets already on the table. I'm going to say no action. Thanks for putting on a list of things to do if we've ever managed to make game nights regular. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I think Heat's like just a very, very good mixture of approachable. Okay, so we're going to Fizzarum this. So we're going to try and keep our simulchips just to hit Fizzarums because D has the time to purge. But Fizzaruming a Toll Booth is kind of inherently messed up. World Tree. Earthrise for Earthrise is fine. We definitely need our hardware pieces. Pay to steal Bologna, yeah. That's fine for us. So, we need to continue to push ourselves forward. MU is going to be a problem. With this hand, we can't really do too much. We have a Nuka on the table. We could hit Nuka to go up to 9 cards. On 7, D can res on HQ. Not too much. We could force a res here. If it's a ping, you don't see VSA that much. I don't think there's too much that punishes on the HQ res. Like, what am I missing? Camera's Toll Booth, camera's Hydra. VSA is not super common. I think we're gonna respect because if it is a what's it called, a hammer, we lose the game on the spot. Let's not do that again. That was pretty bad. Yeah, exactly. Netrunner says hammer. Yeah, hammer's gonna cost us the game, and I do think D's on hammer. I think D identified hammer as being pretty good. I think we'll just install this credit. Yeah, simulchips for Fizzarum is really rough into the matchup. Messney's okay though. If D goes down to 2 credits to drop 3 from us, I think we're okay with that trade. Because then R&D is probably pretty cheap. Sell simulchip for Lilypad. Chris, we could consider doing it if things like slow down a bit. But the simulchips to get back the Fizzarums are really important. Okay, so this is probably an NGO front. This being an NGO front means that D can threaten to res here a Hydra. And probably there's a Hydra here. I'm not sure if... So I forget how much credits D had. I don't think D could afford both of these. I think you probably want to go for the Toll Booth sooner than the Hydra here. But I think that... Like, this screams NGO front. But D is very, very tricky to pin down. So still calling program. So we might need a simulchip for a Lilypad. I think that's correct. If that's the case, we probably want to run HQ, and then we can Fizzarum over there. But I think that's an NGO front, because with 5 credits and Physarum on this, it makes no sense. Maybe that's why you make the play. Hammer's fine though, because you can chip Physarum. Yeah, I wanted to keep the simul chips out for Hydras and stuff, but yeah, I think it's not wrong. No action. Hey Andre, not to derail, but I have a question about Arkham Horror. I'm looking into getting the campaign expansion, investigating expansion. Do I need both? Sort of. Abbreviator, are you gonna be around for a bit? This game might take like half an hour, but if you're around after that, I'd love to answer that question fully. D is thinking, and it's probably about like, do you want to pop the NGO front to be able to res a hammer? It's a tithe. Interesting. We're just gonna let it fire. Lost the SMC. That's fine. Gain 2 though. World Tree. So, what do we want to get rid of? I think we will go for the lily pad here. There's the Hydra. Okay. Absolutely no. I have to leave for work in 20 minutes. Oh, unfortunately, no. Okay. Let me finish our turn. At least we'll get it there. So now we have a lily pad. So we installed the Muse. We can get Muse into Physarum to draw, which I think is like fine. I don't think we have to do it. Now, if we install the SMC, though, we can run here. And then it really has to be an NGO front, and we only pay 1 to find out. I think that's okay, because if D cracks the NGO front to res this ice, we're fine. So I'm going to respect D here and do SMC run the remote server. Or we don't have to, because we still have Airy, right? So let's run this and see if we get the pop. Okay, so when you buy the campaign expansion, it comes with all the cards to play the campaign. Unfortunately, you don't have decks. Like, there's no player cards. It's only the whole campaign. When you buy Investigator expansion, it has all of the player cards, including all the new IDs, but then it doesn't have the campaign itself. So generally, if you have a play group, one person needs to buy the campaign box so you have something to play. But then technically, if you're sharing a card pool, then also only one person has to buy the Investigator box. So you know what I mean? Yeah, it's an NGO friend. So let's see the high. Oh, Brawn. That is fine. Cards and archives. We know there's a Hydra in hand. So if we want to spend a click through the Brawn, that's exactly what it comes down to. So the campaign, you need to play the campaign, investigator cards. It's much easier to buy multiple so if you and your friend each buy a investigator box, then you both have full play sets of cards. But then together, the two of you only need to buy one campaign. That's what I would say. So if we don't break this for a click, D gets a Hydra down and saves a credit and a click. I'm going to click through one of those. It only gets you a scenario to play. The others, you get player cards. Yeah, I get it. So if I really wanted to have that as a self-contained experience, you need to buy both 100%. In theory, you can buy a campaign and just play like with the core set cards, right? Like you can just play, but like in theory, you're meant to be able to beat the campaigns with the core set, I think. It's not that the core set cards are bad. You just don't have a lot of like wide options. We beat Brawn in the early game by clicking it. We haven't seen any big influence. Spin Doctor Server 2, so like border control is probably in this list. Generally, the list is on some sort of defensive upgrade, whether it's border control or otherwise. Here, we can get our Echelon down and run HQ for free. After the Spin Doctor, it's okay, but we have no HQ pressure. I'm usually the guy who buys the board games for my group because I have more disposable income. Wanted to know what I actually need to buy. Yeah. Yeah, so if you want a whole like cycle, it's one of each. Okay. Now, server 1, Hollowman is likely. Calling program. So we'll do Earthrise first, daily cast. So we have an Earthrise to get rid of and a nuke to get rid of. We have the UAV, which moves the Cubon around, which in this matchup is totally fine. We have a trick shot with 5 credits. I think we can get the trick shot off. The problem with the trick shot is we're gonna have to deal with probably barriers. And this is the sort of the matchup where having the Inversificator is really good. So I think we're gonna trick shot and then we can run Spin Doctor after for free. And just force reses. If this is a Rashida, that's the best case for D, but usually that's what that is, right? You can buy the deluxe box, which has both, and it's like a $10 discount, but that's only for non-brand new sets. Oh, don't do that. I wouldn't recommend that. Because then you have to hunt down all the campaign boxes and they're not out of print. I don't totally agree with that, Tron. The deluxe box only contains the first 2 scenarios and some player cards. It's deprecated. And then to get the whole campaign, you have to go hunt down 6 other individual products that are not in stock. So don't buy the old deluxe, only get the full campaign or full investigators. Unless someone's selling all of it at once, because if you buy the deluxe and the 6 following cycles at once and you can find all of them, then that's technically everything that you get in the both, but it's not don't get a spiral bound book, right? It's slightly different. But don't buy the old deluxes because it's a waste of money unless you can find every single other product that goes with it, which is tricky. No action. friend of mine got into Arkham 4 via partly one of Andre's vids, and we've been playing semi-regularly for almost a year. It's been absolutely... Yeah, Arkham's sick. Arkham's really, really good. Hemlock Vale seems really good so far. So we're assuming a ping or a wrap around here. If D goes into 0 credits, resing oh, cool. Spin first just to get cards back in the deck like that. World Tree target. We'll get rid of, I think, this Earthrise, right? So Taka seems okay. We can just go for daily casts too, but Taka's totally fine. Hydra off the top, okay. Hedge fund. Okay, so now this is a Rashida, that's a problem. Because if this is a Rashida, I think we still run server 1 and triple click the Brawn to deal with the Rashida probably. We have 6 credits, so at the minimum we can install the SMC if D reses this. Board control, okay, cool. Okay, do you want to do something immediately? I don't think D is going to do that immediately. Technically, we have priority here. We probably would have passed priority, because if D cracks a board control on this board, say we're happy. Okay, so now we're incentivized to go get our barrier breaker. Either that or to get our killer to get through this. So we have 6 credits here, so we're going to Arissana for an SMC. That gives D 2 credits, though. Draw a card. Then we'll SMC for a cleaver. And we're at least going to break this for 1, so D doesn't gain 3 credits. And we're just going to go through all of this. I think we can trade our whole turn for this. Obviously, breaking Brawn is like 8 credits. We don't want to do that. I think we can spend 3 clicks on this because we just need to deny this Rashida. Because if it's Rashida into hedge fund, D's back into the game. So we'll just fully click through this. Getting a Peach of Shalom down would be okay. If D cracks a board control this soon, like, we're totally fine. This might be a virus. I think that's actually the worst. But D might have purged there. Yeah, no, probably not. We're on game point. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So what are we throwing out? Trick shot's good. Miss Bones is probably not necessary, huh? So now there's 4 more agendas in the game. Luckily, we've stolen 2 Bolognas, so it's harder for D to put something in remote server at double advance. All the NGOs are back in the game, so D has a Hydra. Now D has a hedge fund. So unless they credit, okay, unknown in hand. Non-equivalent. Oh, back into it. Sick. So we gain 2. All right. Lunchtime and time to see some Metropole Grid. Esteban, how's it going? Okay, it's thinking. So we know there's a Hydra in hand and a hedge fund in hand. I think that's all we know. I think there's 2 Hydras in hand, hedge fund in hand. So we can always dirty laundry to tithe. D being on 9 is whatever. It doesn't change the res cost here unless we install programs. We definitely want a bit more MU. I think we start with the Nuka. The question is like, what are we getting rid of? I think we do definitely start with the Nuka. Okay, so we have Coalescence. That's money for both sides. So we can probably DZ first. And I think we're going to dirty laundry HQ. We can just take a net damage with this hand. The Muse is the best hit. This axis is not that great, but it's attached to World Tree, so it's super good. The other option is we can simul chip. D needs a moment to purge. Maybe this is incorrect. No, this is fine. So we're going to Arissana first so we don't lose it to damage. We'll install the Coalescence, drawing a card. And I think we'll just let it rip. We want to keep the simul chip in the DZ, so we want to protect these. Annoying, but not the end of the world. A single, cataloger is how we're trying to win this. So we have to take this money, and we're going to try and get, I think, here an Echelon. I think an Echelon. We haven't seen any code gates so far. With an Echelon, we can start face checking a bit more. Is there anything else we would consider getting? Hydra, no surprise. Okay, so we just want to continue to build up our breaker suite. We can run HQ gaining 2 credits. There's 2 unknown cards in hand, so that's worth something. It comes at what cost? Not too much cost, but it gains 2 credits. That's not bad. I think we can afford to run HQ here for 2 credits. It's gaining 2 credits, mind you. Turbine? I think Turbine's like the next piece of the puzzle. Like the Cubon will become the Turbine. Okay, Hydra. So the problem is like turbine echelon still not good enough. You need either 4 programs, which is doable, or actually no, we don't even have 4 icebreakers. You would need turbine and Takobi. I generally think Takobi's better than turbine sooner, especially with this tithe. So I'll easy to return to catalog later. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, don't know what that is, but D installs agendas, that's for sure. So we can just run R&D and get a cataloger. We've seen 2 spin doctors, so cataloger is getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on. Run R&D to force some reses is pretty good for us. We have simulchip into Physarum. This server is a bit... I think actually we go for Takobi probably sooner, just because Braun is not good into Takobi, Tithe is not good into Takobi. Let's run R&D. No action. This is an unknown card. This is probably a Hydra on HQ. No further. Okay. Same idea. Nice. All right, there's a magnet. Okay, so we can't break magnet right now. Ideally get catalog on HQ archives, run them, pivot to running R&D. I think we need to find out what the ice is first. I don't want to commit to a cataloger when there's like nonsense here we can't deal with. Oof. Yeah, for sure. All right, so the Physarum is there. That's okay. We can still unship it later, but now this server got a bit more annoying. So we have to figure out how to get through this. We can install a Muse from hand. That's not particularly great. So now we need to go get our decoder down, which means we need to trash a program. So trashing this Physarum is a totally legal target. So we're just going to bounce off of that. So now in 7, we can run HQ. D can't res a Hydra here. I don't think it's a good value run. It's just like a free run. Yeah, so that's probably a Hydra. Fully break tithe, so we make a credit. You can start drawing like crazy. We don't need to. We're going to get a lot of our card draw from World Tree. So now we'll trade the Physarum for Inversificator. And this is the thing, is we can get Inversificator now on this remote server, right? Tithe. Sick. Okay, D's on 9. Muse for hushing the magnet. Nah, we just don't care. We're just going to move this. It's going to become the worst dice for D when we break it for 1 credit. So here we can now run R&D for a single. It's 4 and 24. We definitely need to get another program on the table that we can sell so we can go get our echelon. We need to get the DZ down. So I think we can just do DZ creative because we need to get more MU. Because we're on our full breaker suite. We're short the turbine. We get the turbine next turn. So I think we're in a good spot. After that, we just like try and get our cataloger down and try and close the game out. I think we drew the DZ off the lily pad, so we don't feel bad about that. We also need to watch out that we could consider simulchipping on D's turn. If we need a card draw, I don't think we do though. And slightly more money. Okay, that's a hedge fund. Double advance. Whoa, sick. So either the NGO front or 3 points. If it's 3 points, it's unlikely to be a Bologna. So send a message is like the ice here. So that's really interesting. So we want to think here first. Because we can simulchip. Unfortunately, we've trashed the card, so we'd have to trash the cube on, and then we can get the what's it called here? The thing. If that's the case, what's our run? Is this where the corp concedes? No, I don't think so. It's definitely not D. Let alone, I think you have lines here. Like if we spend a lot of resources running an NGO front, and this was installed without advancing it, so it easily could be the NGO front. We have to remember we have to run this twice, so we probably can let this go. The only way we beat this is if we hush the border control, and I think that's it. The other options, we can like Inversificator the magnet onto here and then make this a bit cheaper to run because Braun's really expensive. Not that we want Braun on R&D, but like when in Rome. I don't think we'll simulchip until our turn starts. Okay, big think. So if we want to hush this, so be it. Toll Booth we break for 7, not very good, but it is 7. Braun we break for also a lot, 2, 4, 6, 8. So if that's the case, we want to get one of these off of it. We can always like simulchip the Cubon to get the Physarum, so that's dealt with. So if we run R&D first click and move the magnet here, then we can run this twice and afford it. We don't even need to hush this. So I think we start by just running R&D and then see what this res is and reacting to it. It might actually be a Hydra. I don't know if Seraph sees play. Seraph would be annoying too. Seraph would be pretty annoying. And we trade the Cubon, and then the Cubon will be trash, and then we can simulchip no problem. Muse for Hush, charge Muse, take out Conduit for Jacoby. I think we'd rather control the remote a bit. I don't think I want to do Conduit when we have Coalescence. I mean, Cataloger. I'll go R&D for a start. You can also swap the Magnet to Border Control. We can't deal with Brawn. So the thing is, like, if it's like a Physarum, if it's Physarum into Magnet, we can afford to run that twice. But if it's Brawn into, like, anything, we can't run it twice. No action. Haven't seen Res Seraph yet? I have. Yeah, I've seen an R+. I just don't think it's as good as Hydra. I was saying run the remote, click 1 Hush, the BC. Oh, that's doable. Yeah, we could just do that and just click through the Brawn. That's not an unreasonable line. Yeah, just run Hush the Border Control and then triple click through Brawn. Now, if D, like, doesn't have priority there. Magnet swap Border Control, Cubon for Turbine. Yeah, we have 2 lines. I want to figure out if we swap the Magnet for Border Control, Magnet for Brawn. I think that's also fine too. Cubon for Turbine is what we're doing on this run no matter what, if we get in. I just don't know if we swap for Brawn or for Border Control, because I think if we swap for the Border Control, it's fine. We can run that remote server twice, because we're going to Physarum the toll booth. And then that remote server is really messed up. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple lines here. This is where, like, Inversificator is sick. Is D thinking? I shouldn't hit continue movement, because we might Physarum. So that was impatience. It is a Hydra. Okay, sick. I hit go to movement. Might not. Thinking. So it's a Hydra. So if this fires, D gets 5 credits back. We can break it. To break it with Echelon, it's 9 credits. That's a lot. But we do have 9 credits to burn. And then we can break the toll booth for free. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Totally. Now, if we simulchip this, we can't deal with the toll booth really well. So I think we're going to just pay 9 here. We can afford it. We just need to get in here with 5 credits, but that's only sometimes. The other thing here is we don't have to run this anymore, right? Because D can't score it out. Yeah, we don't have to run the remote anymore. The thing is, like, what's D going to do next turn? Like, this is the problem where I think we're going to make R&D so bad for us. It's still okay. It's ugly. So we're going to simulchip Physarum this. We're going to Physarum this. I still think we can break this. In theory, we only have to break one of the subroutines, but we might as well break it all. They can score if Andre installs a program, yeah, but we don't really have to. Oh, we kind of do. It's expensive. We'll take it. Okay, so we swap with the boarding control. We have to deal with Brawn toll booth. I don't want to deal with that. I think we get Magnet into toll booth into boarding control, and then that's our remote server. Then we breach server. We install the Cubon so D can score at next turn. So we probably go for the turbine. Jacoby's the next spot. Draw card, yeah. Oof. We need to trash that. It's good that we found that, because otherwise Physarum's get a bit tricky. So D can score out next turn. So now we can run this. This is broken for 1. This we break for 5. We don't actually have to Physarum it. I don't think we have to Physarum this. We probably should, because the remote server is like super cooked. Oh, we even have a hush. Oh. Can hush it? Yeah, we probably hush it and just run back. That's way better. I can't believe we naturally drew the hush. We haven't Arissana'd yet, have we? No. Yeah, we'll just send it. Yeah, hush is a really good draw there. Winnegon, how's it going, by the way? No action. That's a long think. Yeah, it is. Actually, what's good? Muse the Fizz, then overwrite the Muse? Muse the Physarum, then overwrite the Muse? I don't think we need to. If D's thinking this long, this is not an NGO front. So we don't have to do anything now. In theory, we had priority. I love the long thinks. Lets me poke a little too good Netrunner player, learn some good moves. Yes. The long think games are the good games. This is first time, right? Yeah. So now we have priority. So running this back is totally fine if we have to. And if D cracks a border control, like, it's fine. We either run back or we win. Take 3? Oh, yeah, sick. Thanks. NGO, okay, cool. Game's on. All right, we're in. So, it's an NGO. What's on the top of the deck? Do you remember? I don't. It's hard to read D. I didn't know if that was going to be an agenda or not. I think D pushes out bits faster than I do. Oh, we saw my virus. We trashed it. Yeah, okay. So top of our D. Now R&D is messed up, but D also doesn't have a remote server. So that's kind of going good. D has another Hydra in hand. I think we saw 2 Hydras. So one's here. One might be on HQ. So now we have to just set up to deal with the Hydras, which is, we have no economy on this board state anymore. So we definitely need to draw into some economy. I think we'd rather get that down than the simul chip. Yeah, we're going to remote camp for a bit for sure. And then eventually when we're like feeling really good, we'll pull the magnet off here. We just need to get our Tacobi down and start breaking stuff for free. Like, we'll farm the border control, especially if we get a Cyberdelia down and just charge the Cyberdelia. Yeah, trash my virus. Yeah, sick. I think D is probably going to want to destroy this magnet because it is just like a liability, a huge liability. And then we'll probably only see, like, I don't even think you can res message Chaspo into this board state. This toll booth also doesn't do anything, but like, at least we have a simul chip on the table, so the decision's a bit harder. So D drew. We think this is a Hydra. Now, mind you, Hydra is broken for 6. In theory, 5 on a tag, but 6 is cheaper. I wonder if we want to Urban to return the Hush to hand. We probably do, just to give us some control over the board state. How many NGO in the trash? This is the first one, but one was shuffled back. So, like, the second one we've seen, but the only one in the trash so far. You can take a turn to set up nasty pivot the code gates back into R&D. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is, like, none of these are good. Non-equivalent? Nice. Okay, 16 credits. So, Rashida, D's money's good. Our money's okay. So, we definitely want to keep the simul chips that have been valuable. We still have MU left. I think this is a Hydra. If D spends 10 for a Hydra, we're okay. We can run archives. We're probably not having that much to trade around, though. So, I think we can do Nuka. Gotta appreciate D trying to grind out World Tree Ari. Yeah. Creative last is good. Cyberdelia is fine too. We don't have to install a program this turn. Daily cast count, we have no more in our deck. So in terms of like our economy things, we can run archives and maybe get a telework. I think Cyberdelia is totally acceptable. And now running our like border control actually gets a credit. Trickster Talk in this deck is kind of sick. So we also have to watch out for any upgrades, because any upgrades means it's Holloman, and then Holloman into Never Advance. Even if it's on any server, it's going to be a problem. I think you can click for credits and run their remote once a 2x advance. Yeah, unless there's an upgrade, exactly. Janina, super cool. So if we ever run this, like, all the money goes down. Yeah, Holloman's the only thing we have to worry about, but we have to just run any upgrade. Every upgrade, right? Is this card good? Danby was playing it in Atea, just to like click it over and over again, because it can reinstall itself, which is kind of funny. And then you get the ice for free. Yeah, there's the magnet. That's what we expected. So we maybe wanted to run sooner to move the magnet back on R&D, because this server sucks. Okay, so now we lose to this server. Because now it's Holloman into 5-3, so we have to run it. We're on 14 credits. In Oxy's voice, I clearly read, hell no. So the board control is annoying. The question is what the outermost is, and we think this is a Hydra. If it's a virus into Janina, that's pretty bad, because then we have to actually break the thing. So then our question is, how do we get forward momentum here? Obviously, programs the call, thinking. But we need to be able to get into here to deal with Holloman. And if we trash Janina, we trash Janina. JK is a long-term investment at home, which is a sentence I cannot believe it type. Caesar Salad, how's it going? So we can always install the Muse from hand. The Muse can get us a Physarum, so we can just face check this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can just face check this. We can move the hush to the border control. We'll see what this is, because I don't think we're going to spend a lot running this. But we have to respect Holloman here. For 2 influence, Ashen, Priv, Axis, Liberated, Miss Bones. We're not on Ashen because we're on 70 cards. We have 1 MU floating. Sorry, 1 influence floating. And this is the sort of matchup we're having. The DJ Fender seems fine. All you. Biggest discount daily quest? Yeah, but it's like it's interesting. I don't like it, but I wouldn't be I would like. If we have to see it somewhere, maybe. Hydra, yeah, okay. So that's the last Hydra. We think there's one in HQ. So if we muse out the thing, D can respond to it. So D's on 8 credits, muse. Draw a card, it's fine. Then from our... Do we do the stack or the heap? I think we do the heap, right? This is hard. We'll put the Physarum on it. So now the server costs us 6, and we make some money back. Pay 3, Taka. Sick. Oh god, Taka's good. It's fun as an Asatea LARP card, yeah. And then we can sell the Muse for just a Coalescence. I think we have one in the deck. Should hit fully break, no big deal. We can move the toll booth off the server. Like, we can swap the toll booth and the Tithe. It's kind of funny. But the toll booth here is actually pretty good. Eventually we'll move the toll booth here, but with the border control, like, we can't do it this turn. We can also trade Nuka for, like, Miss Bones. Anoetic. Oh, we have no way of beating Anoetic. We just have to run this multiple times. We have no card we can get that beats Anoetic. Not that we're going to be able to get a card, but Muse is going to leave now, which is annoying. So there's something in here that matters. So can we run this 3 more times? Math. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So then we can't swap the toll booth for the Tithe, but we can just let the Tithe fire. So D can only fire this once more, then border control, then run. So we have to like do a trick here. I think we need to either afford Pichachon or we have to afford Cubon, but D is protecting this, so this matters. Yeah, install a Cubon with Summon Chip. We need to install a Cubon or a Pichachon. I think it's the Cubon probably. We've trashed a card, so it's totally fine. So we just have to be able to make this approachable. So we'll probably Hydra Physarum. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. We can make it 4, 4, 4, which is affordable. No, we're credit short, aren't we? Can we run HQ looking for trashable and run the remote again? It's not very likely. The deck doesn't have that many trashables. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we get Anoetic. Then we run back at 6, we're out of money. So if we do Simul Chip, then it's 4. So we pay 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, then the border control is gone. So it's 4, 4, 3. So 4, 4, 3 is good unless it's Bologna. Isn't Jenny guaranteed in HQ? Yeah, but D might have trashed it already. Oh, sorry. I need to do it on the first one because of D border controls after. Because after we produce the I don't think it makes any sense. But in theory, you want to get the Cubon sooner because after you break all the subroutines, D can still fire the border control. So one more time. I have to do it on approach. But if D fires the border control, we save 8 credits, so it doesn't actually make sense. But I think it's technically correct to produce it sooner. Because there sometimes what's very important is that like understanding that paidability windows are before you pass. So in theory, D could like once we break through the toll booth, D could crack the border control. On this board, say it doesn't make sense on the basis that like it saves us money of running the server again. But on the toll booth, it doesn't actually. Well, it saves an Anoetic. Yeah. So this is technically right, I think. Do we trash the void afterwards though? No, because we make a successful run, we can trash Nuka for Miss Bones. But I think the game, like, if D fires the Anoetic again, the game's in the remote server. Yeah, that's where Miss Bones is cool. We could even get pre-chef. Oh no, it's upgrade. We can't. Nice. Okay. So I wasn't expecting to get this. So we probably get rid of... Do we want to Miss Bones here? What's Janina cost to trash? One. Great. So we do actually value the card draw here. We value this. I think the next card we want to get down is our Takobi. Yeah. So trashing the Cubon for a Takobi is probably okay. We need to get a Takobi. The Holloman. Okay. So I actually wanted Miss Bones here. Oh, bless you. Big sneeze. So now we have a money issue. So Coalescence, our MU is totally messed up. D probably purges. But now we need to break things cheaply. This is whenever you break a single subroutine. We might have overextended. The Kobe might have been a bit too soon. So I think we just take credits here. If we install the UAV, D could trash both of these. It depends what's in hand. Maybe checking HQ to see the Janina something. And then we can like break the tithe, but then we go down to, we just need to keep our money up. At least there's only one more balloon in the game. I think we just do credit. UAV feels good though. I know, but I think D is going to trash both of these. And it's like, what do we need the UAV for? Installing cards? I'm going to get the simul chip down to the minimum so we can respond to that. And I think we just credit here. Helps install the Coalescence. We have 2 DZs. We don't need it. Spin? Okay. So there could be agendas and archives. Bless you. You okay? Sneezy little cat. Are you allergic to cats? All right, D's down to 6 credits. We do think there's a Hydra on HQ. Hedge, okay. The Hydra on HQ could be relevant, and that's maybe the JK in the remote server. So in terms of our pressure, our deck still has every cataloger. It has 1 trick shot, and the conduits in hand. We have only 2 more MU cards in the whole deck. Start a turn, daily cast, 6 credits. So we have Taka, we have Cyberdelia now. Okay. So Janina cost 1 to res. So if we run HQ and we see... we made RT so bad for us. Like, there's no way around it. We probably want to run Spin Doctor before we do anything. We can consider running Archives. Let's Nuka. Okay, there's a cataloger. 2 overclocks is really good. Just to contest the remote server on later turns. Do we do it this turn? If we overclock the remote server, it's actually not that bad. Because this is free. This we break for free. Yeah, we should do it. Charges Takobi pretty quickly. And then we trade our daily cast into something. Yeah, I honestly think we overclock the remote server to deal with Janina. Because like D needs money. And it is money. And Noetic Holloman back. Okay, so all our work undone. I think Cable Carnage, when Cable Carnage was playing this list, Cable actually also included 1 copy of Palangi, which makes a lot of sense with Inversificator. Because right now, D is just not going to res any more code gates, and our Inversificator is not going to do anything. And we've made R&D cursed. So we should keep that in mind. That we should maybe consider playing the Palangi. How much is R&D can overclock and afford a blown after? Probably not. This costs 3, 4, 5, 6. The thing is, like, we want to charge Takobi. So running this charges Takobi relatively cheaply. I think we just send it. We have to deal with Janina or Holloman here. I'm a zipline guide in the Redwood Forest. The stream title speaks to me. The rig is crazy. Turbine Takobi, 9M, 9MU, Alex, and we want more. I didn't know you're a zipline guide. That's really cool. Pay 3, yeah. We're going to use our Taka anyways, so it's okay. Yeah, all good. So now D wants to consider trashing this because it's a cheap way for us to farm Takobi and it makes money. Run remote swap toll booth with R&D, run Hydra. We don't have enough clicks. We don't want to go for a single. We want to go for a cataloger setup. But I think camming the remote server is actually totally fine for us. Okay, D's not firing. I'm going to use the overclock sooner, I guess. Yeah. Gains a credit. Takobi. I'll put Takobi on auto resolve. So this is still all free. Do we want to move the toll booth? We could put it on HQ. I don't think so. Now we break Braun for 2 credits with Takobi. So like we could swap this and go for the cataloger next turn. That might be correct, right? Like we swap this here and then we go for 2, 4 and we can run R&D twice. I think that is correct. We give up on this server. We breach. We'll trade the daily cast for something. I think it's a Janina, so we don't need Miss Bones here. Move it to archives. Moving it to archives is actually kind of funny. But yeah, now our next turn is like cataloger, overclock, and then hit the button. Now the server's cursed, but he has a lot of work to do. Telework is fine. Janina for 1, yeah. And that's a good hit. Cool. You always consider moving Hush to border control? Yes. Our plan was to make the remote server so bad that like running it twice is totally fine. Like that server didn't cost us that much. But now D needs to like maybe install advanced events in the remote server. There's still 2 Holomans unaccounted for. I'm assuming D's not on 3, probably on 2. But now we can do like catalog or overclock and then just hit the button. As long as there's no more spin doctor, so there's no shuffle effect. So it's the long con. And like running R&D gives us 2 counters, so we continue to break Braun relatively well. Would Takobi be better as a second turbine? Honestly, yeah. I'd actually rather have... The split is more important when you're only getting 1 for the right board state, but when you're getting both down, I think you do want 2 turbines. Okay, so D could score out, and if that's the case, there's 3 more agendas in the game. 1 could be in archives, but otherwise, if that's Holoman into... At least if it's Holoman into send a message, like D is spending actual real money. Because if it's not the last Bologna, D, it's pretty expensive. So I think we just do... What does this cost, actually? This is 2, this is 2. So we don't need to overclock here. So this is 2 gaining 1. And this is just 2. Thinking. So if this is Toll Booth, right? Like we do 1, 2... We can swap it for the next back one and then just go through it twice. It's kind of funny. So 1, 2, 1, 2. If we overclock, we pay 1, we save. Yeah, I don't think we need the overclock here. Davis do trigger as Mari. Yeah, I think we just run it. I think we can do catalog or run. We'll be on 6. This is 2, 4. Actually, we'll have enough money. Because we're making money with Telework Cyberdelia. Nope. Oh, this boosts strength. Right. World Tree, I did not consider that far. In theory, we could like trash a DZ for a Cyberdelia, and that's technically better, but I think for a moment we go under MU. So I think we're going to pass. That's the game. 6 points there. I'm going to ask for action. In theory, if you think there's a spin doctor, which there's not, you should put 1 on first, 1 on third. No, actually, we just hit the button. Nice. Good game. That's, I think, a really lousy matchup for D. But D did push out 53-minute game. Thanks for the game. That's fun one. I was so worried about hammers. Yeah, I wonder if D's still in hammer on this one. Glad to disabuse chat of the notion I was countering. Yeah, oh man. Again, really good to see D this weekend, and D is an absolute killer on like every game they play. In case there's Bologna, we can click for credit and then counter. Yeah, we would click for telework and then we would hit the button. But there's only 1 more Bologna, so it's like we'd be fine. We have a click left over. This one is a bummer. Never answered. What did you listen on your way down? Listen to radio, Patrick, because my battery was not very good, and I don't have a way to attach it to the thing. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. Yeah, with Anoetic border control, you don't have that much influence to spend. They're like 2 influence a pop on hammer, which is not too bad. American radio is really weird. Like 1 in 3 stations is like Christian political radio, and like frightening Christian political radio. I was super surprised. I thought you'd have to go to a different part of the States, but like I was flipping through the radio station. Hey, cheers. Thanks again. But yeah, it got weird really fast out there. People on the radio telling you like same-sex marriage increases crime rates. Like, what the hell's going on? It was strange. So like you just, because you're going from state to state, like you lose radio station constantly, so you just flicker through it. Got to find college radio for the good stuff. I found NPR. NPR is always pretty good. It was Earth Day on the day up, so they were like focusing on sustainability stuff. Andre casually contends with the Titans of the community while being entertaining education. Goated. Thank you, Lacey. I appreciate it. Can you recommend me 40 pieces of audio media I could enjoy? Shoot, I forgot AA batteries. So I have no headphone jack, and our car is like as old as, oh my god, I drove Orbital to the train station, and I almost went through a red light, and I didn't have air conditioning, and I drove really poorly, and he probably thinks I'm an absolute maniac now, which woof. They're everywhere. I'm sorry I had to listen to that. Like, I like listening to it because I had no idea what it was. It was all like, to me, very objectionable because it wasn't, you know, it's kind of a mess, but I just thought it'd be a bit more like, I thought it'd be like 1 in 6 channels. Like if you want it, you can get it, as opposed to being like every other channel. So yeah, I don't know. I was super surprised how that worked. Freedom radio. I think you can do the DZ Cyber Daily swap without being over MU. I forget what it, but I thought it ruled as such. I think Winnicom, there's a, after you pay the cost, there's a checkpoint, and during that checkpoint, I think you bottom out on MU. That's what at least I heard. Yeah, let's do some news real quick. What time is it? It's 3:50. This might be a bit of a shorter stream because I just got back yesterday and I'm really behind on a lot of stuff. We're just like finalizing tax stuff. My phone doesn't work anymore. Like I got some problems I have to fix. So let's go through some news really quickly because there's some really big news. Firstly, we shouted this out earlier, creating the message. You'll find the link right now. Let me put it in chat, but I'll put it in the description too. Go here and just subscribe. It's really good. QTM doesn't have a lot of subscribers, and QTM has a podcast, but they do really good content. I've heard there's some upcoming content that's actually like, I'm really excited for some upcoming content on the QTM channel. But once you go to this channel, you might not think there's a lot. I think QTM just needs to add the live carousel to the front page because they've been doing some really good live streaming. Specifically, this last video that just went up, or last live stream, was, I believe, our anonymous friend and D talking through some of the final games from Fight Club, and in a replay going over, you know, play by play. And it's just really genuinely good content to hear some of the best players talk about their lines and what they considered. This video, very specifically on its own, made me much more interested, and I'm finding this more and more the more I play Netrunner, is that I'm more interested in playing open deck lists. Because open deck list play, and you hear it because there's a conversation here of these matchups between two very good players. This one is Academic, this is D versus Tempest, Council. And in this matchup, like some plays are made with, you know, understanding, like if my opponent made this play, this is what I can tell about what's probably in their hand. And that is only possible with open deck lists. And I just love playing open deck lists way more, as opposed to like, you know, I don't know, like making calculator risks as opposed to like dying to Sysenton and HB, which is not a real thing, but you know what I mean? Like open decklist Netrunner is like, I don't know, I've been appreciating more and more, as much as I do think a lot of people like the face down card stuff. Check it out. I've only watched the first game and it's fantastic. The second game is going to be more about our anonymous friend Sysop playing through. And this matchup I did watch on the other side. This is Koga, and this matchup is like really good. Koga played the PD deck with I think no Spin Doctors and Tucanas, and Tributary comes down into like a Mulch 1.4. I'm not sure how deep we are, but this game looked really fun to watch. So hearing exactly what our anonymous friend is thinking is going to be really great. So do check this out. Again, link in the description. Give them some subscribes. It's really good content. Mind you, they do a podcast. I don't think there's been a podcast episode in a minute, but all the QTM stuff has been fantastic. Should join Fight Club next time? Yeah, I probably should. So Fight Club is sick. For those who don't know, it was like this ongoing tournament. I would really love, and maybe this is on me, to some extent, to make Fight Club a bit more approachable, because understanding the narrative week to week, checking in to say like who played what, who was eliminated, and maybe just doing like weekly 10-minute videos just to recap, I think would be fantastic for the narrative, because I did not know where to go to follow Fight Club, because for better or for worse, it was across a lot of different channels. I don't think it needs to be centralized. I just think there needs to be a hub for those who are like, you know, trying to follow it, because I didn't even understand the format for the longest time. So it is what it is, but like for the people who streamed, and again, the players and all the effort that went into it, it was a phenomenal event that should be celebrated. And I'm pretty sure everyone who played in it, let alone casted or watched, is so excited for the next Fight Club, probably next year. So the sky's the limit, and like the sky is really high on this one. This is fantastic. Did you look at the AMT results? No, we're going to get to that next. I kind of dunked on Nuvum for a bit. That's all I talked about, the AMT results. Yeah, regular update videos would have been great. They really would have been, because we saw some really wacky meta decks in this like thing, because for the format, it sort of makes sense, but like people were playing strange things. Like Isowak was doing well out here. Obviously, Los made the finals. Like There's some really wild stuff. And if you ask me, like, this is going to be a problem is when I'm commentating upcoming events and someone's like, oh, the Iswak deck at AMT. And I'm like, I don't know what it is because the lists, it's kind of hard to get. A bad Mercury deck did really well, was fun to see. Yeah. Now it's hell on me, gotta do more next time. No, actually, don't take it like that. It's not so much it's on you as much as like, I think we both understand that there's a lot of like want for this. So you have a good problem if you have a problem. Anyways, check that stuff out. It's sick. It's really, really sick. Braun Hart from Axu in the chat. All right, what else is next? There was a lot of events this weekend. Oh, I shouted this out. I haven't listened to it yet, but we recorded a podcast, Neon Static, mind you, with Izzy, Jeff, and Andre, Nick, and Eric at live at at Mansion Runner, talking about flavor behind the cards. I'm a bit embarrassed to listen to this one because I know I was a bit rambly and not focused. I was very hungry, but I'll listen to it for sure. Check it out for sure. Just ignore my parts. Izzy and Jeff had some great stuff to say about flavor. It was mostly Nick being like, what's this card about? I don't get it. And then everyone around him was like incredibly positive, be like, no, I like that one. It makes a lot of sense. So check it out. It's great stuff. Neon Static, mind you, also, they have the voting up already for the meme contest. Highly recommend you get through this. I'm going to share the Padlet. But basically, this works exactly the same way it worked for the other thing. For Mythos Busters, just go through this. Anytime you like a meme, just give it a like. And then whichever one has the most likes, it's a very unscientific process, wins. And some of these are genuinely very, very, very funny. I'm not going to show you my hand, but I've done this off camera and looked at some and liked them a lot. But there's some really, really fun creative stuff here. I like this one a lot. This one gets me. I think this duck is doing really well too, or the goose. Anyways, check this stuff out, get some votes in. I don't know how long the voting is, but I'm pretty sure I thought it was going to be last night. I was waiting for it, but I'm pretty sure Nick and Eric are going to go through it and like live react to them because I think Nick hasn't seen any of these yet. Yeah. Hearing you feel like you're behind on the recent tournament scene, I wonder how worthwhile it'd be on some day to do a recap stream on Mondays. Yes, I don't know if it would be a stream. I think like just having a 10-minute short video or something like that, 5-minute, maybe a stream is easier, but I think something like that would be really, really cool. Yeah, you did loads actually from what I could see. Like, actually, yeah, exactly. That's not, you did loads. Like you got nothing to be upset about. So don't worry about it. All right, second flight EMEA. This one's a really big one because this is up on this channel on Saturday. So the folks, I think mostly in Italy, are putting together a fund to get people to EMEA. So European Continentals is in Bergamo in Italy. I think it's June 26th. Citation totally needed. Bergamo, mind you, is northern Italy and has there's an airport there, so it's easy enough to get to, and it looks like a killer event. This is the in-person Continentals for this year, and I think for a lot of people this is going to be the Worlds. For folks on the other side of the ocean, we're getting to San Francisco is going to be a bit more tricky for obvious reasons. And so the Italian scene is really, really popping off. I think some of the best Netrunner players right now are in the Italian scene, so this is going to be a really big event to watch. But specifically, a fund is being raised to help get together money to get people to Bergamo. It's no different than the Run Together fundraiser, which is ongoing. Buy your Run Together packs. I got to see the Run Together cards in person at Mansion Runner. They look sick. The good cards look good, and the great cards look even greater. Like it's great to see in person. But these sort of events have been going on. This is the second one. It'll be on Saturday. This time zone makes a lot of sense for people who are more in North America. The third one will be on June 1st. I'm not sure who's streaming that. I'll let you know. And if you want to get these promos, Dr. Nuka by Nicola Preda and Atini by Claudia Pintore and the Frog. I should do it like this. These are only at this event. We will spoil what the promos are for the third event, which is coming up in June. I got those in message, so we'll be able to show them up on stream. But if you want to get involved, it looks like there's going to be a killer crowd of some really strong Netrunner players here. And again, the money raised will be going to getting people to EMEA. And again, if you need that money, if you think any sort of help will get you to EMEA and make it make sense, reach out to the nice people who are organizing it. A lot of work goes into this. If you want to register too, mind you, there is a cost because the money is being raised. If you want to play into multiple tournaments, it gets a bit cheaper per tournament, but 15 euros for one, 25 for two, and they'll send you prize support. For three, it's 35 euros. And you can fill this in and they'll ship you some nice stuff. If you just want to play for fun, you can do it. I think they still have an entry fee, I'm pretty sure, and they're working on PayPal. But that'll be this weekend on this channel. This Nuka's Heat, yeah, this is we looked into it. This, I always forget her name, but she's a renowned Italian scientist, and just getting on the new card is sick. June 28th to 30th. Thank you. Voting ends on the 29th. Okay, you got a while to vote. That's awesome. Anyways, that's going to be this weekend. So we'll be back. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll be back on Saturday doing a nice stream if you want to hang out or play. Why not play? It's going to be a good event. That's for sure. I need to say this every time. If you're a casual Netrunner player, if you've never played an event, playing online, I think playing in person for your first event is always a nice thing to do because playing in person, there's a lot of like social energy there. But these sort of events might look like they're only for competitive grinders. I promise you, any organized play is generally pretty great because you just get to meet nice people. If you can get on Discord and you can hop into chat and voice chat with your opponent, if that's possible, that's a nice way to get into it. But organized play is for everyone. While people vying for top tables will be vying for top tables, and there's going to be some exciting narratives there. For a lot of people, just being at, you know, whatever tables is a nice way to meet people. And as the game goes on, as the day progresses, you'll be playing against more people who are at, like, you know, the same level as you. So just kind of keeping on. Cheap reviewers on Virgo, you're banned. Add to block list. Okay, don't click on that link. I think that's all for news. Let's look at some results. There's a lot of things this weekend. So there were a bunch of things going on this weekend. Let's look at some of the results. So 3 main tournaments I want to focus on. We had an NPC in Toronto. That's sick. 26 players playing. Then there was the Yaoi Bunga's Carnival of Whimsy, which I believe was startup. I think it was on the 2nd day. And then we had the standard AMT. Let's start with the standard AMT, and then we'll fold into Canada after that. This is the AMT. You can find it, mind you, on twitch.tv/nullsignal netrunner to watch the VOD. Eventually it'll be up on YouTube. How many players? It was like 30 players, I think. There's no way of knowing. We have a top 4, including some IDs you might not have expected. Bad Mercury deck from Hams, Hollow Ops. This is the one that I believe Man in the Moon is playing. Mulch is Mulch. And then we saw this Bomb and Guns Nuvum deck, which, like, I roasted the bed the early beginning of the stream. Shout outs to Alpi for posting the deck list and posting a good write-up and posting replays. I watched these 2 replays and Nuvum fired once in each of the games. So, like, I don't totally get it. But if you want to play a Nuvum deck, this seems to do something, which is better than some Nuvum decks. 54 cards. Let's go. In terms of the meta stuff, not too much to say. It's a bit diverse, which is kind of cool. Seems kind of even. Hoshiko seems to be just still very good. No surprises there. And people are playing Virus Lu, which is a nice way to go. I think a lot of these decks are all, I wouldn't say full assets, but near full assets, right? Like we have NEH, we have Asa Group almost making the top cut, Epiphany. So I think there's a lot of assets out there, which is pretty wild. Some people are keeping those in check, but like cannons, we're on. It's not too asset heavy. Mind you, this is Holloman with a bit of like program destruction. Sato's, I think, relatively good right now, but you still have Havra and Stavka, which is fantastic. And you have SDS drone deployments, as much as some people are also playing things like Basalt Spire in here, which is great. Corporate Troubleshooter is super mean. I could see this beating up a lot of criminals. Some Anarchs with Simulchip, maybe they can get around that, but I could see that being pretty cool. It fires more in other games. Hey, there's Alfie. Yeah. I watched the replays. It fired once in each. Yo, congratulations. I'm still not Nuvum pilled, but I'm waiting for that time to come. Hollow Ops, this is what you think it is. I think having tag punishment attached to public trail is pretty mean. We're seeing trust operation. I know D was talking in the replay that trust op can be a bit harder to set up if you don't have enough ice or the right ice suite, but like self-growth program, retribution are good enough tag punishments that I don't think you need to go for something like end of the line and try and close the game out. But this deck is a bit old now, still doing quite well. Things that are interesting too is we saw this, I believe the Mercury deck is like just sending it with probably Pretty Mary. Yeah, 2 Pretty Mary, Earthrise Hotel, no love for that, Melandrium, Phaserum, and then Breakers. These are real Breakers, Steelskin Scarring, no Banhar. I love me some Criminal Banhar recently. This seems totally fine. Falsified Credentials 3x, so you know when to like inside job the remote server. I think that's a really cool inclusion. Single Waken Plan, 3 Hermes, 2 Alarm Clock. Honestly, this is the sort of deck that like I kind of am dreading to play against because it's not setting up like a twinning, but it's just like, I don't know, I'm going to inside job R&D, 3 cards. And then have Hermes. I'm just not going to ever like this archetype, and I'm actually desperately hoping it's not good. But like Melandrium, and Phaserum are like, I don't know. It is what it is. Not my kind of favorite net runner, but I'm glad at least it's playable. I've been having a lot of fun with the Rush Nuvum, thanks to Sanjay. Yeah, Daojin, I saw that list. I'm not a big fan of it, where it's just like, I hope I draw well in fast events from hand. It's just not my kind of game either. Hollow Ops is so good. I think Hollow Ops is really good. Yeah, plus is cool. Steelskin better than Diesel is an interesting choice. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why. There's no way for this to fire unless you hit it with Wake. So it's nice to have it. Like maybe you're being a bit aggressive with Mercury, and then in certain matchups where there is damage, like you want to fire your Mercury ability so there's a bit of safety there. The fact that Diesel saves you credit, I think is reasonable. If you can afford the credit, you can just go for Steelskin, but that's been an argument in like criminal decks for the last couple of years that are choosing one or the other. Like, do I save a credit and have a Diesel, or do I have a Steelskin and pay a credit? And some of the old meta, like a lot of people just said, play Diesel, that 1 credit in your Sable deck matters. So maybe it doesn't in this one, but maybe your aggression does catch up. I have a lot of conflicting feelings over Rush Nuvum. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've seen the deck list and it's just like, you know, play 3 Audacity and hope that you win. It's like, I think you're going to have issues against some of the better decks in the meta. I always feels like I should be playing some other ID or faction. Yeah. Like the outfit, I think does that ID, but does that better. We all make fun of hams for SS over Diesel. Yeah. It could be right. It could be wrong. I don't like this archetype, but it seems to work. So that's great, I guess. Also, mind you, this doesn't have a good way of producing breakers. So having a lot of cheap gear check ice is actually kind of reasonable against this because like it's one of each breaker, no mutual favor and no like nothing to cheat remote servers besides inside job. So you can kind of just send it hopefully. And that's why 3 Hermes seems right. Who knows? Neat. Very cool. Shouts to the AMT folks. I don't know who casted this weekend. Probably Thurantar, but I'm not sure. I haven't been able to catch it because I'm a runner. NPC Toronto, second NPC event. Third one coming up. I might be Boston. I'm really trying to get down there. I'm going to confirm that sooner than later, but like I'm so excited to like come hang out with the folks from the Northeast once again. These tokens are sick. I picked up a bunch of NPC dice from Dan B this weekend, so we're going to have a date for the Montreal event. Hopefully by the end of this month. No doubt by the end of this month. We're looking for end of August, beginning of September, so I'll let you know as soon as I know. Thrantor the Goat and Cephalopod Wizard and Jai and Droid for a bit. Oh, super cool. An NPC event Boston. Here's a link from Alec. We'll have the link in the description. Mind you, shout out to Daria. I got to meet Daria in person. That's sick. Mind you, that's not again. Who's organizing this event? It's south of Boston, if I'm not mistaken. Enhance, next to this. I think that's a lake. So yeah, just a bit south of Boston, southwest of Boston, around the Providence area. I need to figure out if they're streaming or anything like that. So I'll let you know as soon as I know. That fermenter, yeah, that's a Scotty Minga fermenter. This is not specific to NPC Toronto. This is the NPC promo for the year. And I believe it's a participation prize. So obviously it won't have the watermark on it, but if you want to go to any NPC event, you'll be able to pick up one of these, which is totally sick. So that's coming up. Well, this is Toronto. It's gone. If you look at the meta, relatively diverse, I think, which is kind of cool. Steve getting good representation. I think that's mostly because like Steve Benhart lists right now are so cool. Oh, 3 of those technically. Yeah, right. I'm assuming that's what those are. There was another Steve list that I believe Koga posted, but I don't know what Bumble J was playing, but I think one of the most fun decks right now is like this sort of like Steve Cambridge Benhart deck that Bridgman posted. I want to tune it a bit because I don't think it has enough card draw, but it just feels so fun and I would take any excuse to play it, which is sick. At the top cut, what are we seeing? A bit of Atea, a fair bit more Atea. Mind you, there's been a good enough amount of play of Atea in Toronto, which is awesome. Otherwise, I'm not sure any of these are too spicy. Damned if you do, damned if you don't from MJK sounds spicy. Shout out to XTG, been grinding the good stuff, doing pretty well there. 3rd in Swiss. I think he did great the following day as well. And then we'll see what Terrence is doing. Shout out to Terrence on Op and Arissana. 2 lats at the top as well. It's probably not what too many people might have called, which is great. This, mind you, oh, fuck. All right. 74 card Op with Hypoxia, Mutually Assured Destruction. So these are the sort of like big mad decks where you just end up trashing all your upgrades. I have blissfully not played against a lot of this, and I think this deck is actually doing well in tournaments, and I hate it. I hate it. Don't know what to say. I don't want this to exist. Terrence was on Rococo combo. Oh, okay, good. At least someone's on it, because that deck needs to get banned somehow. So apparently Toronto's won by Rococo combo. That's good to know. Reprint APOC. I just don't know what you do about this. Like maybe you want to play, like, to me, the like upsetting part is with 74 cards, like who knows what you're playing into? Like how do you make the right call on what's in the remote server? You can't. Right? Like it's just impossible to make intelligent decisions when the decks are this big. Like is it the hammer or is it the sandstone? Like who knows? Now, on that side, it should be inconsistent for them because they only have so many econ cards, but like, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And the fact that this is competitive is like really kind of upsetting. This is not a target MJK. MJK is sick. And this archetype has been around for a while. And like, if it works, why not play it? But like, I really hope this is not good. Yeah, this is where having eternal practice helps a lot. Not excited about that. I don't know what to do about that. I haven't played enough into it, so. Yeah, cool. There's an event the next day too, which I believe was startup. No, it can't be startup. I thought there was a startup. I was talking to XGG, and XGG was preparing for startup, but like there's Thule in here, so I think this was just like legitimately what's it called, G&K. And shout out to Z-Bag, mind you, Z-Bag was the organizer of the NPC event. I believe got to play in this event. F your credits, now you die. Wolf 3 Mercury. Shout out to Z. So looks like some Enderline Mindscaping combo. Sudden Commandment is the one I've saw at Phonetria, which is sick, and then a fair bit more asses than you might expect. But not on public trail, on Oppo, which I'm a bit surprised about, because you can definitely set up the public trail into Enderline Mindscaping. I don't know how consistently that line fires as opposed to something else. Wolf 3 Mercury is probably exactly what it sounds like. Not a lot of breakers, a single cleaver to deal with, I don't know, the annoying stuff. You got Fazarum, that's I guess why you have the cleaver, and Sneak Door, which is kind of sick in these sort of matches. I think Sneak Door is great. Then we have Iru, one Pretty Mary, one Liberated for economy that you don't have to do anything, and then Simulchips to move around the Fazarums. Pretty cool. Doesn't seem, it's like clearly not nearly breakerless, so it needs to, like, I want to say Wolf Centrals, and that's working out pretty well. 46 cards, Z, well done. If Mad gets banned, we can have HPT back. Honestly, probably not. Probably not. Sick. There are a lot of good events this weekend. I'm glad that people are going out and doing stuff. It's a bummer that like Mansion Runner and Toronto and NPC were at the same event, because there's like a pretty big contingent of players from the Northeast that would have gone to Toronto. I reckon that were at Mansion Runner maybe instead. That's unfortunate. It is that it is. It's hard to organize events. North America is pretty big. But mind you, NPC Boston's coming up. It's on the 25th and the 26th. And I think that's the next big event for Northeastern players, let alone to come in. Pink, I'm doing good. How are you doing? Had a busy weekend. Got to play some Netrunner. Got to play a lot of board games, but we're back. Hopefully you're doing well. Technically, Big Op could be even bigger now. You think so? I think that's all we have for news. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take one shot at trying to build 45 card World Tree, the way that NetDead said. There are not enough weekends in a year. No, it's going to be the problem. It's like, I'm going to organize Montreal and NPC, and there's going to be like another event that weekend. I'm going to be like, it is what it is. Hopefully we announce that soon. I'm doing well, thank you. Hey, good to hear. Okay, so I don't know, NetDad, if you're around, but we want to see if we can build the 45 card consistent Arissana World Tree. Not a Redwood, but just like a little poplar that's being built. I am here. Okay, let's try and do this together. So single World Tree. We're going to do all the muses. We're going to do all the self-modifying codes. We're going to play all of the coalescences. And then we have, what is it, rejig? We're going to play a full play set. I don't know. I guess so. We're going to do, what's the one that gets rid of cards? The spec work 3x. Okay. So that's a bit of our rig. And then we just win. So conduit. Good enough. 6 events, 8 hardware, 20 programs, 11 resources. 1x Ashen for real. So 6 events. What are we on? Trick shot, I think. We're not an overclock, not on sure gamble. Maddie walked in, so Nana's like standing up, like, what's going on? Is it happening? Is it dinner time? Hold on, hungry happened. No Ashen? Somebody just said hungry. That cat's off. Okay, trick shot, spec, or rejig. We're at 9. What's our last event? Similar to Bahrain's. Bahrain did something last night. I hadn't had time to watch it, but I know Bahrain, but Bahrain was slightly different because I think Bahrain was on test run from what I've heard, but I haven't caught up to it yet. What else we want? Simulchips for sure. I'm assuming at least 1 copy of Lilypad. Telework is probably fine. Nuke is probably fine. I'm gonna play Earthrise maybe. Yeah, she's gone. JK, how's it going? Breakers. We'll do Echelon, Cleaver. I kind of like playing the 6 cost Investigator. Okay, what else did you say? Cut Earthrise UAV, cut Cubon to Kobe, cut 2 World Tree. Whoa. What? Cut Diesel, Dirty Laundry, Overclock, Gamble Swap, and Reject, cut Cataloger, 1x DZs. I don't know what this deck is. I don't know what this deck is. Boss list looks sick. Okay. Check out Ba. Link in the description. Boss streams Monday afternoons for me, but I wasn't around. That's quite the parkour off the Ottoman. She generally does like a triple jump or like a tic-tac to get up and down. She's figured it out effortlessly. 2 DZ, 2 Cyberdelia. Okay, cool. So we're almost there. We spend no influence though, which that's puzzling, but we're at 39 cards. No influence. How are we spending influence? I'll play a Miss Bones, I guess. Are we on Buzzsaw? We definitely want the turbine. Real friends want to see Nanook. 3 Fazarum. Okay, cool. That's where the influence goes. We're 44. How's this possible to build a 45 World Tree deck? We're probably on a Pichachon, but we're on no Cubon, so how do we win the game? 2 thrash it? It might be right. I don't know if we're gonna go back through it. Clearly the most consistent tree deck is 1x Werewolf, 1x Orca, 1x Tree, 3x Spark. It's doable. Problem I have with D99 is there aren't really shaper cards worth playing for 2 clicks. Yeah, this card's like kind of neat, but it's like very, 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 very slow. Like, just play DJ Fenris is usually how I'd see it. Because you need to get this down, hopefully for free. Then you need to trash specifically hardware and program, which the deck does. And then you have to click it back to hand. It's like not great. We have our coalescences in. Bringing those back is like whatever. Is this a deck? This doesn't seem like a deck. 1x Hush is really good. Yeah, but how do you play 45? Maybe Cataloger? NetDead says specifically don't play Cataloger. I like Cataloger. I don't like having this as our only win condition. This doesn't make sense to me. Cut Earthrise? Oh yeah, you didn't like Earthrise. We don't have enough win conditions, so hold on, what did you say? 6 events, way too many already. 8 hardware, we're good. 20 programs, we're good. 11 resources. So what events are we not playing? Trick shots? Need casts? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we're missing a resource and we have too many events. What 2 events are you on? You're on 6 events. You said rejig. I don't think we need 3 rejigs though. It's like with Coalescence is pretty good. I don't like the trick shot, not sure on spec work. So spec work gets rid of the Coalescences. It's not bad. But with like the idea is like abstractly we don't need it. Because we have World Tree. Yeah, I like creative. I like overclock though. I like creative commission and rejig. Okay. So the question is then do you play 3 test run? Because we already have rejig, and then that's probably what Ba was ending up doing. So this hand is telework, use telework, SMC. Maybe 1 slap vandal. We have no. Like, why are we R-ing? We don't have that many Trojans. We have 3 Fazarum, I guess. 1 pawn shop could be a spec work. Yeah. Yeah, I cut pawn shop from my deck because I thought we were just getting programs with it. Let's try and just get programs. Let's not try and pawn shop. I think pawn shop makes sense, but I think we want to just like World Tree our programs. If we want recursion, like I think we just play a DJ Fenris and then we just go HQ. So like, what do we do with this hand? I don't think we keep this hand. It's just there's no upfront economy. Like that's why I like, you know, sure gamble and stuff like that. Is so you can play it early. Muse and SMC, yeah, you just need enough ways to get the World Tree, right? Like if you just play one of them, you're down to 4 targets and it's not good enough. You definitely play, well, let alone Muse is busted good. But often the early plays, you use Muse to find SMC and then you crack the SMC for World Tree and then you sell the Muse for Coalescence. So like they just work well together anyways. I like overclock a lot in large version. Me too. I like running with 1 World Tree. It seems like you want more options early World Tree, which is going to require 8 to 10 credits. Yeah, exactly. A trick shot is like maybe the middle point. Is there anything we're missing? Because we can play 48 cards to feel good about it. Is Pichachon worth it? Well, I don't think Conduit is worth it. I think Pichachon has been really good, but I think like a single Cubon is probably a bit more worth it. Can we get away with cutting 1 SMC? Let's see what it does to the math. Okay, so say we have 47 in the deck right now. We're looking for numbered side cards in the deck. We're looking for a World Tree. So our World Tree is at 6 targets, or sorry, 7 targets. Chance of finding out an opening hand with just finding 1 is 57. If we cut 1, we go down to 51. Maybe we could get away with it. SMC on its own is pretty good. So I think we kind of want it. Pichachon feels like a little win more. It's not even win more. It like helps you in so many board states, right? Like it helps you get through ice, click, like getting an extra click is not win more. It just works on so many board states. Like Pichachon into Conduit is arguably win more, but just Pichachon on its own is just a utility card. Yeah, I know. Actually, I just learned that today. There's a geometric calculator here, and it's like really easy to use because you can do that and updates in real time. Yeah, Pichachon's messed up. I like Pichachon a lot. That thing is ancient. Yeah, we forgot about it, and we needed our historians to tell us about it. 8, 11, 7. I can play 48. Okay. Poplar. Poplars are small, right? What's a poplar? Poplars are big. What do you call, what's a small tree called? A sapling. Oh, great. That makes more sense. Launchers are the only thing missing. Maybe DJ might do it. Yeah. DJ might be our long value econ card. I'm not sure if I'm like totally into 3 Physarum. Like I like 2 Physarum and maybe a Taka. I think Physarum is like one of the best things, but I think you could go 2 Physarum, 1 Slap Vandal, and then have a bit of flexibility so we don't get locked early. Bonsai Ari, you trimmed it down with care. Niel, that's a good point. Netrunner deck. Bonsai Ari. We got BRE though. The trick shots are the odd duck in the list. Yes. But we're going to try it. I think 3 rejig is too many. But I do like it as a way to like accelerate us and give us some pressure. But yeah, we can cut it. Let's see how it feels. I just want like a way to get a World Tree down on turn 2 and not feel terrible about it. And I think trick shot's like the closest we have because we're not an overclock. Cut 2 rejigs and 1 trick. Oh, maybe that's a good idea. Just yeah. I like that a lot because then we actually play 45. I'm not sure if I have to cycle decks or not. I'm just going to leave game and make a new one. How was dinner, Nana? Was it what you wanted? Was it everything you wanted? She was so upset I left. She was sulking the whole weekend until I came home. And then she was like, oh, you're the best. Thank you for being back. I also wonder if like... Meow meow. We got a big meow meow. I wonder if like playing spec work, like Rejig gives you flexibility on a bunch of board states where you can like refresh catalogers, do stuff like that. My cats are the same and it makes travel hard. I know. We're lucky enough to have like my sister and her husband down the street, so we can like cat sit each other's and each of our cats like each other's. You know what I mean? Maddie says mostly. No, everyone likes everyone. Oh, Nana doesn't like my sister that much. That's true, actually. Yobu, okay. That does something, I think. Opening Lilypad Coalescence Creative seems great. Hey. Best of luck. So why play Hyobu? It gives you some credit sometimes. I think the biggest thing is like you play complete image. If that's the case, having Simulchip into Lilypad makes us a bit harder to kill. But this doesn't do anything. To advance a card. Okay, so that looks probably like it could just be traps, but this looks more like Charlotte, so I think we run it. If it's just like damage, just damage it. And Geofriend, okay, whatever. So how do we play this hand? I don't think we can afford, like we could do credit Lilypad Coalescence. I think that's probably the best because we can creative next turn, I think. Yeah, we have Simulchip SMC, so we're in an okay spot. Maybe we wanted to creative that turn and just lose a Lilypad draw. Then we wouldn't install a Lilypad. I'm just not sure how fast Hyobu can go. What ice like reveals in the standard format? I don't think there's that much. So it's 8 credits to go get, but then we get 4 credits back. So if we run, we install this. It costs us 8. So we just need to get our money up a bit. A Daily Cast here would be good. Physarum means we can face check. The only thing we're rough to is Botu, I think it's more accurately. So we lose a click here installing SMC, but we draw a card, so it's fine. Because we could install this while we're running. Oh, not like that. Okay, so now we can get it on the table. So let's see what happens. We do want to get the Simulchip down, though. This prevents us from dying. Double advance. Okay. Fuji could be scored. I don't think we care that much. So now we'll just World Tree the Coalescence, and now we're like doing a slim rig. This was installed first, and then it was advanced. So we could run it. We're assuming it's a Fuji. If it's a Fuji, we take 2 damage. We lose your Investigator. We just want to keep the Simulchip, though. Yeah, we're fine. No action. Action for like producing Hush beats. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's pretty bad. You probably don't. Do we Fizarum this? Peeping Tom, Loot Box, Gatekeeper, Maganga are the ice that reveal cards. There must be more. SMC into Hush? Yeah, SMC into Hush is sick. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's an NGO front. So Anansi still fires, but when Anansi doesn't, like, you know, kill you, it's pretty good. Descent and Wave? Yeah. Disable card. Good. So we're hoping not to, losing Miss Bones here is fine. Technically Descend and Tree Line? Yeah, Hyobu hasn't fired yet. Has our opponent clicked for credits? No. Did you already use Ari to drop the SMC? No. Lost Nuka, that's fine. So we die to Urtica here. Fuji, okay. Wow, we kept that, that's good. So we can always like click to draw. So complete image is technically online, but it doesn't have money. We're still going? Yeah. We started a bit late, Jeff. This is probably going to be one of our final games today. So we lost World Tree. I'm just going to draw up so we don't, you know, die to anything. How do you do the extra symbol in the chat and text? Alroth, how's it going? This is a plugin called Cyberfeeder for Jinteki.net. It's made by Rocky. She's made this. It's only for Firefox, and it's sick. It gives you all this like other functionality. Like it allows you to remember when we run HQ, whatever we access, it'll let us know. It does a lot of good for us. It's kind of sick. I can't recommend it enough. Just search Cyberfeeder Firefox. It should come up. You could drop Fizarum to the Nazi after you hush it. I don't think it's worth it. And then like Fuji eats our Inversificator. Because I don't think we want to bypass it for 3. It would save it, but I think we have 3 of them. We don't care that much. So if this is a Rashida, they're back into it. So we probably just Coalescence. We could install it to draw. We don't really have an Arissana trigger. We probably want to keep this around. Like, I mean, we don't want to just install it while running. On 0 credits, we can run R&D, I think. I think Maganga is the only thing. So far, the ability hasn't fired yet. Getting down a Conduit here would be pretty messed up. Do we just go for Conduit? Well, it has no money so that we can start like trashing snares and stuff. I think running HQ probably has an agenda in it. We'll start here, I think. So much was good. How much is loot box to res? Nothing. Cost nothing. But we can always hush the loot box. I don't think it does anything. Let's try and get some excesses. Seraph. So somebody's expecting to have money. I'm using Firefox. Okay, there's a loot box. End the run unless the runner pays 2. Then reveal the top 3. So I think we're just going to end the run here because it having money here is not good. Reveal the top 3, add one of them. Yeah, we just don't want it to have money. We don't really need creative here. We just want to continue to draw up. Fizarum's nice. We can bypass this with Fizarum if we want to, but we might as well just pay 2 once. Rashid, okay. It's back in the money. So far, the ability hasn't fired. Credit hedge. So this is where drawing spec work is good. Spec work is 4 credits, draw a card. Now we only have 1 spec work. World Tree now has still 5 targets, let alone we could SMC for something to get it. Hedge fund. Okay, there you go. So I'm not too worried. Draw. We have SMC now. So we can just run SMC for a breaker. No. I think we just do daily cast creative, and then in the near future we'll put all World Tree and sell Coalescence for a Coalescence, drawing a card. We can do it next turn. Because we can get our breakers out relatively fast. And then if this deck is just ice, like it probably has some amount of traps. I do think complete image is alive and well. So we just want to keep it Sound Chip away. So SMC for tree and pop off, yeah, that's next turn. For sure. So that's threatening to be a La Costa. I don't want to commit 2 cards to this, but we actually can run this. Like we just do Fizarum run. If it's Anoetic or La Costa, that's where we want the Miss Bones, but Miss Bones isn't coming back. We don't have a Prisha in this deck either, but for upgrades, that doesn't really help that much. So we can run this. We can install the Fizarum, draw 3, pay 3. Are these subroutines worth the 3? Honestly, nearly, yeah. We're pretty far away from breaking this. 3 seems like a bargain. What could we die to? Fuji into Hokusai. Could just be a Daniela. I just want to trash La Costa. If only we had slot in action. Yeah, but then we have to hold on to the action all game. That's not going to happen. Need one more if you want the World Tree. Yeah, we're not going to go for the World Tree. Anoetic, that's fine. It can only afford the Anoetic a couple times. That means whatever's in here is good, and trashing that and the Anoetic is totally fine. We can afford to run this twice more if we really want to. We have daily casts. I miss Cubon. I think having one of Cubon's a really good tool in a toolbox deck. Fuji, okay, we're on game point. We lost a simul chip, that's rough. So now complete image hits us. Do we lose to punitive? No, because we're currently on 4 cards in hand. So I think we'll just take money. Could we die? Complete image is really hard. It hasn't fired its ability at all. I just want to draw the rejig so this deck feels different. We have teleworks, those would be good. But we're just like, do we need a World Tree? Yeah, we're happy with a World Tree. We like a World Tree. And it also didn't discard more cards, so I think there's agendas in HQ. Okay, we have to remember we can simul chip this turn. It's not a priority because we have Coalescence to draw, but we can draw. Okay. Draw last click. All right, so HQ can be an Anansi. I think that's okay. We can always respond to it with the Hush. Let's just not play around snare, or like let's not get snared. Okay, trick shot is kind of cute into loot box. Muse. If we install Muse, it clogs our MU. I'd rather have that in hand. So I think I'm just going to install SMC and then hopefully draw an econ card that's playable here. Yeah, telework is fine. We can install the telework. We're going to hit it next turn. She's in her creepy paper bin. She doesn't often go down there. It's her birthday paper. Planogram for 3 cards. Looking for cards here. I think for complete image, you have to make a successful run, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's good, bin. Icing up archives. That's some World Tree respect, I reckon. Unless there's cards in archives, like agendas. Ice on HQ, okay. So we just need to find the cheapest server to crack. But like, if it's not doing anything, we don't have to do much. Do you ever value chip there to draw and reinstall Ice like Hush? If we cared about hand size, yes. But the simul chips are so much more valuable because they're on instant speed Phasarums, which means we don't have to deal with most of the ice. So if we were like behind tempo, I would do it. But here we're like kind of in control enough of the game that we don't have to like value the card out because we don't really need that too much. Hey, Ian, I thought I was going to see you on the weekend. Hope everything's going all right, eh? Time for Credit Clicker 9000. Yeah, just about. All right, that's how we win. Yeah, it's just in this matchup, not only is the simul chip like going to give us lily pad draw on a turn where like we can die to complete image, which is going to be pretty important. It's just like it's more valuable on more board states. Simul chip for coalescence is strictly for when you're behind on tempo. Yeah. Yeah, we have enough going for us. We don't need to do it. So what do we do here? I don't want to install the Muse. We probably can though. I don't think we have much to do. Like we just want to set up for a trick shot. So we go through loot box for 2. We go through whatever this is. We see 2. Probably wins the game. We could hit 2 snares, die. Whatever. Credit clicker. Real sad to miss it. See you in NPC though. Yeah. I'll look forward to that, huh? Whereas you could fall asleep on the board state for 4 to 5 turns and probably still be ahead. I wouldn't say it in those terms, Chef, but I do agree with you. Right now we're very far ahead. Celebrity gift. Let's see the hand. There's gonna be 1 card hidden here. So Anoetic Void, a Teeny, Cloud Eater, Konjin, Lindsay. So some pretty rough ice. Still not sure why Hyobu, and then there's 1 kept there. So any of this ice could be pretty scary. Luckily, most of the stuff is really weak. Like Hush is more important. Like Hushing a Cloud Eater, Hushing a Konjin is better than tempoing at the simul chip. This is our last simul chip too, which is a bit of a bummer. Like we lost 1 to damage, and I think that card's actually worth... Oh no, we have 1 more. It was worth protecting. Okay. So probably just telework and we can send it. Because we're going to get plus cards here. We'll just trick shot. Hyobu for gift value? Yeah, that's the first Hyobu fire, I'm pretty sure. You're right. So this will just fire. We'll pay 2 from this, and then like we'll draw a card. Like this does draw cards. So Hyobu's fired twice. It was Nuka Coalescence daily cast, so we got a free daily cast. It got 3 credits. I'm fine with that. There's a Cloud Eater. Okay. So we can Phasarium this, and we can Hush this. I think that's what we do. Blink and Cloud Eater for 3 seems messed up. So Hush has to be simulchip. And then I think we'll install the Muse from hand. And then we'll simulchip the Muse. Sorry. I need to do this on approach. I think we messed up the timing a bit. I need to do on approach because we want to bypass the snake. You can fire. Pay 2. I think you don't need to hush it. Just take 2 tags. I think we can hush it. You're right. Maybe we don't. Okay. We definitely Fazarium in. And then we can afford to take 2 tags. I think you're right. Okay, it's all you. So Cloud Eater says when you pass it, so bypassing it is totally fine. If that's the case, we can Muse from hand and we can keep our simulchip around. Because I think the Hush is going to be more valuable with like Konjin and non-season stuff. So we'll get this installed. Draw a card. Then we'll go stack. The last Fazarium. It's on it. Continue to counter pay 3. And then we'll take 2 tags. Oh, 2 tags. Oh, we don't actually have enough time. We might have to float a tag here. Hedge fund. Hybrid lease. Never mind. Game's over. Good game. Yeah, I'm not sure what Hyobu does. We didn't see a Hyobu win condition in there. There might be something. Are you on complete image? You click installed it? You're right. Did I? No, I didn't. Did I? I think I might have click installed it. Did I click install it? Okay, that was a quick one. Yeah, it was. Thanks for the game, eh? Yeah, we might have lost a click there. We should have hit Arissana instead of installing it from hand because I did spend a click. It doesn't come through the log that I did, but I think you're right that I probably did. Cool. Gotcha. Got you around, eh? Yeah, it's just the hard thing is like Hyobu just doesn't have enough ways that it fires for it to make just about any sense. Trying Sisyphus. Oh, neat. Where like if you play Ag Infusion or something like that, you just have a better ability. Like if this was an Ag Infusion matchup, I'd be a fair bit more frightened. Yeah, cool. It says in the log spends to click and 2 credits. No, it doesn't. It says Andre did it perfectly. High fives all around. Oh, I read Trick Shot. Okay, you're right. To install Muse, we spend a click. I read spends a click and 2 credits from Trick Shot, and I stopped reading. Yeah, I installed Muse. Yeah, that's not me. That's on me. Almost got the World Tree out. It's because his deck is more focused. There's like enough pressure, I suppose. Like the Fazariums are close enough that you do need World Tree. Like this is what I mean. It's like I do think that probably just playing Arisana with 45 cards and then like an Ace-Ups Pawn Shop would have been better. Which is like the deck I think a bunch of players are playing. Yeah, for sure. I have 3 Fazariums even. That can't be easy. Every time I see you playing Shaper, I wonder if it's just a fever dream. No, scrub. I should have worn it too at Mansion Runner. I have the Shaper like toque and everything. I'm like, I kind of enjoy Shaper a lot more than anything else. Yeah. Got you around, eh? I posted the list like 5 minutes ago. Oh, let me check it out. Yeah. Because I think what Jeff is playing is kind of probably more how I'd play Generalist Arisana. I feel like Restoring Humanity kind of serves a similar person for procs more often. Yep. Restoring Humanity, Ag Infusion, there's a lot that do it like very, very similarly, which is hard. It's like if you want a generalist ability, there's a lot of generalist abilities that are better than that one. Mind you, for those who are just tuning in or like are new to the game, that ID Hyobu has never been relevant at any level of play. Yeah, okay, so this is 46 cards. So single Ashen, which I think you fire 1 in 4 games. Jeff did a great light write-up. I haven't read it, obviously. I just opened this, but check that out. Link in the description. 2 creative, 1 deep dive, 3 diesel, 3 spec work. So same skimping on the event economy. Deep dive is a win condition, sick. 3 gachapons. Nice way to... Oh, we're not environmental testing. Yeah, of course not, because we're in World Tree. Oh, man, I'd like this a lot better. We would have fired environmental testing very aggressively. Then urban. So Eco Propeller Unity. So the idea with propellers, you can get by, in theory, with enough like muses and stuff like that. You still struggle against some stuff like Brawn. So it's like, it's okay. But there's some metas where that's going to be an issue for you for sure. And then everything you think. Only 2 Cubons. No Peach, 1 Peach of Champ, 1 Fazarium. And then the Prisha, just because you have no game into a lot of acid matchups. Oh, you can actually. 2 Hush though, 1 Clot. Sick. This World Tree list doesn't World Tree. Exactly. This is the more like the generalist the midpoint Arisanas that are just like modern Arisanas, which I like. Oh, look, he's on Ashen. I know he's on Ashen, and I talked with Jeff about it. It's like you don't play this in most matchups, which is like I think how most decks play Ashen. That being said, I think you can build like an Anarch deck that just rips through their deck and does consistently play Ashen, but you don't need to. And then we're back onto like 3 Lily Pad, 3 Urban, because we do need it consistently because we don't have World Tree. 1 DZ's fine. Yeah, this is probably pretty smooth. Win conditions, just Conduit too. It's like no trick shots, no catalogers, which is not too surprising. As much as like we were super cataloger and burner pilled, it's not happening here. You can see that in the write up some optional other options. This triggers tuned. This is what I've been saying for such a long time, Jeff. And like, I don't mean that in I told you so, but when the first lists came down, I loved Gachapon as soon as Ari showed up, just because the environmental testing's so hard. And then people are on like prognostic Q loop and stuff like that, which is really cool. But this always seemed like the fastest way to fire environmental testing and then get rid of your 3x extra copies. So I'm glad to see it. Like it just plays really, 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 really smoothly. And I like that a heck of a lot, especially if the game is faster, which it kind of is. Yeah, Q loop is really, really fun. Q loop's great. This is the most cuttable card, Ashen. Sorry, Turdog. But I view the card as insurance against the super grindy Glacier Corpse. Yeah, makes sense. I like it more if we added World Trees and like 12. Add 1 World Tree and 12 of the cards you got to brew. This should be in here just trying to figure out the cuts because the list wants to be 45. Yeah, makes sense. You're an engine list. Prognostic would be quite fun to play around with, and sometimes I'm going to toy with. Now I'm almost the Econ's hittable targets for Q Loop. Yeah. And Dr. Nuka is very much personal playstyle, but I much prefer Diesel to Nuka. I agree with that in this deck because you're racing the corp rather than trying to outvalue them. I agree. Yeah, DZ. I find myself rarely installing this, but it's probably right for some of the Deep Glacier games. I'm wondering Deep Glacier if Cyber Deli is better. I'd be very surprised. But Cyber Deli and like the matchup we played just on stream recently, like Cyber Deli gave like 8 credits, no problem. Obviously, when it comes in for free with the World Tree, it's a different game altogether. Yeah, this is cool. Definitely very, very cool list. Mind you, Gachapon does have no virtuals, so it's all about just getting a program out, which is kind of what you want to do. And you fire on the corpse turn, fire Lily Pad, environmental testing, DZ, even if you have it down. It's kind of nice. Cool. Yeah. Yo. It's been such a weekend, man. Absolute wild Netrunner weekend. I need to spend more time talking about ONR. I talked about it at the beginning, but like, I'm on an ONR kick. We need to play more of it. I got my ONR decks here. And I just like, it was so fun this last weekend. Shout out again. Netrunner was kind of killer. All right. I think that's going to be it for today. We've gone through our news. We played a bunch of RE today, had a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out. We started a bit late today. We're going to end a bit early. I just got back yesterday, so there's still a lot of stuff that has to be done. There's a huge mess off screen here, and I need to get that done. Tax stuff and all that. Is there a way to play ONR online? JK, there 100% is. I will link it in the description because I'll have to look it up. But NB Kelly made an ONR mirror. It's like a Jinteki.net client that plays ONR, and I think it is rules complete and arguably card complete. So you can just play ONR the same way you can play NetRunnerDB. So shout out to NB Kelly, who just absolutely kills it with JNet support stuff. So I'll try and link that in the description. That's largely it. I want to give a huge thank you again. I think it's oldtechie.fun. Yo, wait, for real? Stop reminding me to do my taxes this weekend. Phil, you're pretty late. You can get it done. Huge shout out to a lot of folks who help support the channel. Mind you, putting time into this to edit, to stream, obviously it takes time. So it's only largely possible with support from the community. And I'm incredibly grateful. Mind you, these names are just the Sure Gamble and the Degree Mill patrons. And we have a Daily Cast patron tier. There's a lot of Daily Cast patrons and your support is incredibly appreciated. This week, Bink Bonkle joining the Patreon club. Thank you so much for the support. Very much appreciated. We have a stream on Thursday. We're going to be doing a whole stream weekend on Saturday with a tournament, so some organized play. Hopefully see you there. Again, we'll be back on Thursday, hopefully to show some photos from Netrunner. We're trying to get that in order, which would be nice. We had a video just last weekend doing some Hollowman Asa. That's the list I played at Netrunner. That deck is very, very quite strong. Had some bad beats. Got a game loss on my own terms, but I can't recommend that deck enough. Very smooth playing altogether. A nice deck to learn the game as well. A lot of like fun lines. I think that's mostly it. Thanks again so much for the support, and we'll be back. A lot of good stuff to catch up on. Again, links in the description. Make sure on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you want to hit the links button in the description and find more. Also, if you want to take a second to like the video, that helps. I need to shut that out more. Just leaving a like takes a second. If you're not subscribed, you can definitely subscribe on YouTube or on Twitch. It's free, gives you notifications if you want to. Just hit that bell button. But yeah, the likes actually do help the channel a lot. It's the easiest way to support the channel. Thanks for streaming. Hey, Pink, thanks for dropping in, huh? And with that, we'll be back on Thursday. Take care of yourselves. There's some events coming this weekend. If you want to try In the Fly to EMEA, it's going to be a fun tournament, either to watch or to play. So if you're on the edge of it, ask around. People will help you with some deck lists. People are posting really nice deck lists to get out there and get involved in some organized play. See you, Andre. Hey, Kat. See ya. Thanks for dropping in today. Great stream. Thank you so much. I think that's it. I'm going to go in a second to pose for a thumbnail. So that's always what happens right after this. I'll let you in behind the curtain there. I'll do that or that. You know how it is. Take care, y'all. Bye.